Great. So okay. So now before before starting the session, again the same request. We'll be talking about the like Azure DevOps. We'll be talking about Terraform a bit, and then we'll be talking about CICD as well as what exactly is going around, like how we can create a pipeline. And in the end, we have prepared one workshop for you all if you all interested. So you can spend some time and complete that entire, and that is a public one. So in, let's say you want to do it later also, so it will be with you all. So should we start?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So yeah, that's that's what we need, request everyone. Let's try to make it interactive as much as we can, so that you all are getting a lot from this session. And one thing is, feel free to stop me anywhere. Like if, let's say, you get any question in between the session, right? So just feel free, stop me and ask me, like if that part is not clear or whatever you want to discuss. Okay. Great. So as I said, Terraform CICD using Azure DevOps. So first, if I talk about agenda, as I have already been talked about it, so I'll be going a bit fast with that, but let me know if you have any question. Like first, we'll be talking about Terraform, where we'll be talking about why exactly it is needed, and then we'll be talking about what is Terraform. So after that, once that part is done, then we'll be talking about same goes for the CI/CD. So continuous integration, continuous deployment, delivery. We'll be talking about if you have some question, concerns, why exactly it is needed, what exactly it is. So that we'll be talking about. After that, Azure DevOps, like our focus, where we'll be creating a CI/CD. That also we'll be discussing exactly like why Azure DevOps is needed, or what exactly Azure DevOps is, and how exactly it is making an impact. And then we'll come to our main topic, which is the CI/CD of Terraform using Azure DevOps. Basically, we'll be creating a CI/CD pipeline of Terraform code, the entire Terraform code, like to provision an infrastructure or provision a network, whatever we want as per our requirement, using the Azure DevOps. So today we are talking about Azure DevOps, but I'll be talking about exactly like how it can be any other tool as well. So till this part, anybody has any question?
No.
No.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Please call me Mehul. It's fine. So after that, so again, as per the agenda, first question is why Terraform? Because see, that's that's what I have been learning. Like before, getting into the tool, first you have to understand, like why that tool is needed, like why exactly that tool is there around. So what do you think? Acha, how many of you are aware about Terraform? Actually, I won't be able to see that screen. Like if you'll raise your hand, so just can say like yes.
Yes,
I
like a
know
beginner.
a little bit about the beginners. I know about the Terraform.
Intermediate level.
Okay. So but still I'll talk about it a bit, like so that everybody is on the same picture. So first we'll talk about why exactly Terraform is needed. So basically, Terraform is it's an infrastructure as a code, right? I love talking about Terraform. It's kind of my favorite tool, one among a lot. Reason, because it makes your life very easy as per me. Why it does that? Because how it does that, like it's like you just need to learn one specific language, which is HCL. It's similar to YAML. It's like reading the English, and then you can provision the entire infrastructure using Terraform. It doesn't matter which cloud you are working on. It has a great documentation, so that it's very easy. So why I say Terraform? Because it is a self-sufficient. When I say self-sufficient, so it's basically can take care of each aspect, right? Like it's if let's say you write an infrastructure, it automatically will, like, you just have to write a code at once, and then it will take care of the entire stuff, right? Like it will be provision an infrastructure for you. If you want to run any specific command there as a user data, or maybe like there are options available to do that as well, right? So that all can be done with the Terraform. Second thing is speed and safety, right? Why I say speed? Because it like once once it is there, right? Like you wrote the code, for example, right? You said when I say you write the code, everybody is able to picture. Is there anyone who is not able to picture what I mean by that? Like when I say you write the Terraform code, so anybody in this call where you are not able to picture that thing? Please, no is fine.
No,
There is
we are
no.
good. I'm good, Mehul. I'm able to understand what there's the TF file which you are saying, right? Where we need to write the code. Yeah.
Correct. So let me just quickly show you. Like, see, I just request everybody, like, be very open here. Like, nobody's judging, right? So it would be easy for you to, like, to get the benefit. When I say you write a code, I mean this. So you write a very simple code where these are modules. I'll talk about those in future, maybe whenever. If you want, we can have a separate session on Terraform as well. But like this is like you write a code for modules, whatever it is. So you can write it in this manner. Okay. Now everybody, because for as per me, it's very important, to picture whatever I'm saying. Because if the picture is not around, so you won't be able to understand that. That's the request. So this way, like you create a resource, like let's say I want to create a subnet, so it's just a subnet. So are we good now?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. So when I say speed, so why I am saying speed, because what happens when I talk about speed, right? So once you write the code, after that you just need to run one command, right? I just run Terraform apply. There are flags other and everything, but it will eventually just quickly create an infra, right? So previous line, right? If I talk about the journey of the Terraform, right? If let's say I have a very small organization where I just have a 2 servers, so speed won't impact me in any manner, right? Like I just go there, manually create it. I don't need Terraform. Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. But at the same time, you are a very big team. You have a dynamic infrastructure. You are talking about cost optimization. At that time, you are saying like because think about it, right? Like I do not need dev environment. Let's say my dev environment cost around, for example, let's say $200. Okay. So I'm just saying like it's a big organization. You create one cluster and everything, AKS you have, or maybe you are using a lot of things. But in the night time, nobody is using your dev environment, right? This is the fact, right? Everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
So
exactly.
I want on the night time, it should get deleted. And in the morning, again, it should get created when everybody logs in. Let's say my team starts working on 10. So at 9, infrastructure should come up again. And in the night time, they don't work after 9. So after 9, it should get deleted. So night 9 to morning 9, I can save 12 hours of cost, right?
Yes.
So up now tell me, like if I have to do it manually, so do you think it is good? Like I go there manually in the night time, I'll go delete everything. In the morning, I'll come up again and create everything. Does not make sense.
No, that's not.
True, that is true.
Correct. So here
Yeah.
Terraform comes into the picture, right? It gives you a speed. You just have to once write a code, you just run a Terraform apply, it will create the infrastructure, entire infrastructure in, let's say, like it depends on the service definitely, but I'll say some 15 to 20 minutes, right? And after that, in the night time, you just run the job, destroy, and it automatically destroy your entire infrastructure. Are we good?
Yes. Fine.
So now speed is done. What about safety? Safety as in, let's say I'm doing it manually, right? So there is 100, I'll not say 100%, but 99% chances, like I'll make some mistake, right? Like if I'm doing something repeatedly again and again, like it has happened with me, like I forget to attach public IP, right? I choose a wrong like a virtual network. I choose a wrong subnet, right? This is a very common thing. Agree?
Yes.
So with the Terraform, it can also be taken care, right? Like you because you have a static, like you have a code there, you are not going again and again to make the changes. You just need to run Terraform apply. So it will read the code and entire code will be same all the times. So this is safe, right? Agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, just yes, no is fine with me. And if you have any question, feel free to stop me in between. And if you have any thought, like let's say there is some example that I'm missing, which can help everybody else to understand the topic, right? So feel free to add. Then the third
One question here, Mehul. Yeah, one question. So is Terraform equivalent to CI/CD pipeline, or is it like sub part of Jenkins? So generally, when we say CI/CD, we say Jenkins, right?
Hmm.
So this Terraform will come inside Jenkins or inside Jenkins. Like how are the different, and like if you can just explain a little bit.
Perfect. So I hope this question is clear to everyone.
Yes, Mehul.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much. Actually, I didn't catch your name because I cannot see that. But yeah, thank you so much for the question. So Terraform is a totally separate entity. Okay, it has nothing to do with CI/CD. It has nothing to do with Jenkins. It has nothing to do with Azure DevOps. But why I'm saying that nothing to do, it means if let's say you don't have Jenkins, you don't have a CI/CD pipeline in place, you don't have Azure DevOps in place, still you can provision your infrastructure.
Okay.
Okay, so Terraform is a tool which helps you to provision the infrastructure, right? So for example, if I skip this screen and if I'll go to this area, right? If I have this code present with me, Terraform, right? And I have Terraform installed in my, like for example, in my local. So eventually I'll be running the command Terraform apply. It doesn't matter if I'm running it from my local, if I'm running it from the Jenkins, if I'm running it with the Azure DevOps. Clear?
Okay. Okay.
So Terraform is a totally different on that context. Is it clear to everybody?
Mehul, I have one question.
Sure.
We can like Ansible is also IAC tool, and Terraform is also an IAC tool. So why we choose Terraform over Ansible? Because we can provision infrastructure from Ansible as well, right?
Correct. Very good question. So I don't choose over. So like they have a different work, right? Like if you read the documentation as well, same way the way you mentioned, right? We can with the Ansible we can provision the infrastructure. Same with the Terraform, you can install the software as well. What Ansible does for you. Okay.
Okay.
So
So
let me complete. So what happens now? Every tool has their capabilities, right? If you'll read the documentation, so what it says, I can do it for you, but I recommend do not use me for this specific task. So why? So that's the reason why when I say infrastructure as a code, so Terraform is the only tool where, like, Terraform is the tool, I'll say, not say only tool. Terraform is a tool which is much better compatibility in provisioning the infrastructure. And in the, if I talk about Ansible, so Ansible is much better when you are talking about software configuration. Where, let's say, for example, I want to install the Nginx on a virtual machine. So it is recommended, like the virtual machine I'll create via Terraform, and then when I have to install Ansible, then I'll use the Nginx, then I'll use the tool, which is Ansible.
okay.
But your question is correct. Like it like nobody can stop you if you like. I have seen the organization, I have worked with them where work for that kind of clients where they are provisioning the infrastructure using Ansible.
Okay.
Yes.
Mehul, can you repeat the last sentence, the reason why we are choosing the Terraform or Ansible by each other? Can you repeat once again? I didn't get your
Okay.
point.
So I don't have, like, I was not telling any reason behind it. I was just saying, like, it's like everything has a best best for something, right? So that's the major reason, right? Like, for example, Terraform is good with provisioning it. Like, it has more options available, you can say. It has more, tweak, more logics you can add around this, like, while provisioning the infrastructure. At the same time, when it comes to software, so Ansible gives you better options. So,
Okay.
but I was saying, like whoever who asked the question, like, this is correct. Like, you can provision the infrastructure using Ansible as well, but it's not recommended because Terraform is much more compatible in comparison to Ansible for some
Okay.
cases. That's what I was saying.
Got that. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Okay, I'll take it as a no. Then the third thing is a version control. So are we all aware what is version control? version control system, VCS?
Yes.
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 Yeah, anybody like to talk about it? It's fine. Okay. So let me complete. Like version control is like keeping something on the repository, or you can say keeping maintaining the version, right? For example, GitHub is the example, GitLab is the example of the distributed version control. So that's a so why I'm saying Terraform has another option, because it is written in a code, right? Like it is in the form of code. So it means you can keep it on the version control systems. Agree? Like I was just showing you, like I have a code where like it is. Yes, no, please.
I think you broke in
Please
between.
explain this thing once again, this version control.
Okay, sure. So basically what I was saying, version control like GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, right? That we are aware, right?
Yes.
So I was talking about, so for example, if I talk about version control, so I'm saying Terraform code is present in a form of code, right? Like Terraform has, like you can write a code, which means you are having this a code present in your repository. Agree?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. So it means you can take all the benefit of version control with the Terraform as well. Now it comes like what all are the benefits. So for example, somebody made some change in the infrastructure, right? Let's say somebody added like instead of one specific instance, I said like I want to go for 2 core or maybe 8 cores of server, for example, right? So when somebody else do the audit and they check, okay, so this is supposed to be something else, but it has changed somehow, right? Or maybe who changed it? So you need not to go within the team and ask everyone. Instead of that, what you can do, you will just go to the code. You will see, okay, who did the commit from the author. You can immediately know like who made the change. Agree, everyone?
Right.
And the code is present in a central repository. So everybody different code and somebody else has a different. Yes, no?
Fine. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So last thing is the reusability. When I say reusability, as in let's say you write one Terraform code, right? After that you can use that code again and again. Like there are concepts like module, right? You write one module in Terraform and then you just have to call it again and again, and you can use it n number of times. Same code, right? Let's say you have written one some specific code, and then you can reuse it again and again on the daily basis. You just need to run the Terraform apply anywhere, it will create the infrastructure. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's clear.
Perfect. Thank you. So now I talk about what is Terraform. So as of now, I hope you have understood it. But Terraform is just, again, it's just a tool where see here. So it's basically what it does. There is a provider, right? With the help of that, it targets the API. For example, I provide, I put the provider of Azure. It will be provisioning infrastructure on Azure. If I'll provide the provider in AWS, it will be provisioning infrastructure in AWS. So it does, like it will automatically take care of that part. So that part is clear.
Fine.
Okay, then it's simple. If you'll check this diagram now, so what is happening? You write the code, right? The one that we were talking about. Then you plan it, Terraform plan. You can see what exactly is going to create, and then you apply it. As I was mentioning, you can provide like you can create an infrastructure on AWS, GCP, Azure, or 1,000+ providers there. Clear, everybody?
Fine.
Everybody else, we good?
Yes.
Can you speak, just let me know once that what is the state file which is after with the after configuration file?
Sure. State file. It's actually it's more deep into the Terraform. So what happens now? Whenever you create a it's I'll just quickly answer that question. It has nothing to do with session, but state file is nothing but it's like there is one file it creates, right? Let's say you provision the infrastructure. You can say it's a memory of Terraform, right? For example, you said I'm creating a network where I'm creating a resource group, I'm creating a virtual network, I'm creating a subnet, for example. So how Terraform will remember that? Agree?
Yes, yes.
Because you add a new code, after that again you apply. So how Terraform knows, because we say Terraform is a idempotent tool, right, where it maintains the memory. I have like earlier I have created a resource group, virtual network and subnet. Now I just have to create a VM, rest all things are already around. Agree? So it means you how it take care of that part. So it's keep it in the Terraform state file. Clear?
Is it
Okay,
like a
thank you.
Docker image sort of?
Docker image is a different thing, entire different, but
Snapshot basically.
no, not exactly will be as a Docker image. You said Docker image or Docker file?
Docker image, like it also contains the state of the whole application.
But you can say that in that if you're thinking about it with that logic, if you know Docker, but I don't.
Like it has a snapshot, so same way the state file is also having the current snapshot of the application.
Not 100% correct, but yeah, partially you can think about it. Because what happens if, let's say, you change the infrastructure, right? You made the change in the infrastructure level. At that time also you can run the refresh, and this TF state file will automatically get updated as per the infra.
So in Docker also we need to build a new image if we have to make changes, right?
It's a new image build, right? That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. There you need not to build anything. It will come from the outside. That's what I'm saying. Or if, let's say, you'll apply from the bottom and does not exist in the code, so it will destroy it.
Well, one question.
So state file is the base file where the repository, basically the file which is present in the initial repository, initial file in the repository.
No. State file is once you run Terraform apply, right?
Okay.
After that, it creates one new file called terraform.tfstate.
Yes.
Where kind of made the entry of what all things it has provision.
Okay, so one time you run the code, you will get that state file. Again, you run the code after making some changes, and again you run the code. Then that thing will be overwritten in the initial file.
Exactly. Yes. So I'm saying now, like it is idempotent. Like for example, in the first step you created a resource group, right?
Right.
The second time when you added a group for subnet. So as per the expectation, what you want, because resource group already exists. Agree?
Right.
You want this time only subnet should get created instead of both of them again. So how Terraform will know like resource group exists? Because it has stored it inside the Terraform state file. Like I have created this thing.
I got it. So it will use that information, and when subnet will be created, that information will also be added in the state file.
Exactly.
So a state file contains the configuration file, configuration data.
Can say that, yes.
Okay.
So it
Thank
is
you.
human readable. It has certain format.
Yes. It is human readable.
So it is like JSON, or what is the format of that file?
It is JSON. It is JSON or HCL, because HCL and JSON are compatible, right? So it will be JSON or HCL language. So HCL is also similar. Like this is the HCL language, right? Yes. So this is the HCL language. You can read it, right?
Yes.
But I think it is in the JSON format.
Okay, so what advantage does it have? Means other than if I can simply go to GUI and click and deploy the infrastructure also. Why to do these things? Means
Let's say you have a very big like you on the daily basis you have to implement form on the daily basis. You definitely can, right? But we, like earlier when we were talking about like in the why Terraform partner, we talked about speed, right? So at that time we discussed about it, right? If let's say you have a 5 environment, Like if I talk about my client, what happens? They have a 5 or 6 environments, right? For example, they have a dev, they have a SIT, right? After that, they have a UAT, they have a pre-prod or maybe load testing environment, right? After that, they have a production, and then let's say they have any other environment, which is, let's say, DR, disaster recovery, right? Now, in reality, which environment should be always up? That is production. Or maybe you can say I have an active DR, so DR should be always up, for example, right? But if I talk about dev, right? If I talk about SIT, if I talk about UAT, if I talk about environments also always up.
Okay.
No, like what do you think? Like
I lost you in between. Sorry, I don't know whether it's only for me or others also, but
Yeah, it
Yeah,
got
the
break.
it's happening.
line
That's
is
why I said,
breaking.
yeah,
There was a
There
glitch.
might be some internet disturbance at your end.
exactly. Yeah.
okay, sorry for that. So by that, what time you will be able to hear me?
Audible.
Yeah, now it's
You were saying
better.
something when you were asking something, or maybe then I lost. Yeah.
Now it's better, but sometimes when you speak, it breaks in between.
Okay. Let me check that. Next time when it happens, just stop me, so I'll change my network. Okay. Okay. So what I was talking about is understand. I was just trying to explain it in this manner. Let's say you have a 5, like 6, 7 environments, right? So other than production, you like rest all environments. You do not want always up. Agree?
Okay. Whenever you
So
want to do something, and you can simply run the code, and the environment is created. You were saying like that
exactly.
instead of going to GUI and click. Cool. Got it now.
Everybody else also clear?
One more question, Mehul. Like
Yes.
suppose if I have multiple TF file,
Hmm.
okay, is there any way I can say, okay, first execute this, I mean, first apply this, then apply this? Because it may happen that they're dependent on each other, right? Like the first one should, like the order should be there. Is there any way something like that, or how is it?
Good question. There is a way. There is a a line in the block you can add, depends on. So, but how Terraform works? It says I'll go, like let's say I said this is one directory. Inside that directory, let's say you have a 10 TF files .tf. So by default, it will be picking all 10 files. Okay. So this
Okay.
is the first thing. After that, Terraform is smart enough. It knows first I have to create a resource network. Let's say.
We missed you, man.
Yeah, again,
There was a glitch.
Just a minute. Let me change my network.
Is Mehul is hold?
He's just going to change his connection.
Okay.
Give one more.
Thanks for confirming.
I'm on. Okay. So I was. Let me reshare. Is it fine now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are audible. It's better now.
So I'll pause my video for some time. Is
There was a glitch again.
No, I think again you're going in and out. Yeah.
it is visible, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Visible.
Okay. So I was talking about till this point, like we were talking about, let's say you have a 10 TF files, right? For example, if you check here, let's say you have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this TF bars. So basically, by default, Terraform has a tendency like it will be fetching all these files at once. Okay, if it is inside the directory, so it will be fetching all. This point is clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. After that, the second thing comes, which is, for example, if let's say, like Terraform is smart enough, it knows like which one to pick first. Like for example, it will create a resource group first, then only it will go for. Sorry.
Sir, repeat once again. It breaks in between. So repeat once again.
I think Rizwan is something saying, just some noise over there.
So my voice is breaking, or is there any noise?
Noise from Rizwan side. Now it's okay. You can continue. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I thought again my network. Let me still change it. Just a minute. Hello, am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Let me share my screen again. So, okay. Okay, so I was talking about, let's say you have a multiple files present, right? Let's say you have these many files. So Terraform has a tendency to automatically pick the files. Yes, that point is clear. After that, in the blocks also, it knows which one to take first. But just to answer that question, yes, can I add it? Yes, you can. There is a block called depends on. In every resource you can add, like say you can say like VNet, in the VNet you can add depends on RG block. Clear?
Okay.
Perfect. Now the second question is, what is CICD, or exactly why exactly is the Terraform CICD? So how many of you are aware about CICD? That's a very open point, right? Like that is something that everybody can discuss. Yes, no?
No idea.
Yes.
It's totally fine. If you have no idea, it's totally fine.
Yes.
Okay. So whosoever is aware about it, anyone would like to talk about it?
CI/CD is continuous integration, continuous deployment. So there is no, like, we do not wait for a particular part of code to get completed to deploy it. We do in smaller chunks, in iterations, and whenever our one feature is ready or one part of the feature is ready, we integrate it with our branch, maybe a feature branch first, and then deploy it, test it. So it goes on uh, till we reach to the master.
Very nice. Others?
Also, we can schedule the jobs with a specific time. Also, we can trigger a job when the code commit comes from the development side. Also.
Okay. What about others?
And I think it automates the process.
Yeah, that's also a good answer. Like continuous, right? It has a name, continuous, added. So yes, it automates. What else?
I think CI/CD was.
It's a collaborative way of integrating different various teams among the DevOps ecosystem. So where other teams were working in silos in the previous model, so now here it is a continuous collaboration and integration from right from development to production live environments.
Very nice.
CI/CD is a tool. It is a different type of the tools integrate to scan the code and deploy the code in a multiple way of the environment.
That's also a good answer. So see, that's the point with the CI/CD, right? There cannot be any wrong answer because everybody has their own definition of CI/CD. Okay, everyone has their own definition, and you cannot argue like this is a correct definition or this is a wrong definition. I'll share mine, whatever is my understanding. I'll not, as of now, forget about Terraform, forget about application. Why I talked about CI/CD with Terraform, that I'll come there at that time. You can forget about, just think of it as an application first, right? Let's first think about application, and then I'll take you through with the Terraform. I'll tell you like why exactly I created a pipeline for Terraform as well. CI/CD pipeline. Clear, everyone? Till this point, are we all with me?
Yes, fine. Please proceed.
Yes.
Okay. If somebody was not asking anything, so I'm good with that. So let's think about it. Let's say you're a developer, you build one, you write one application code, right? Right till this point. So I'll be giving a lot of yes and no at this moment, because this is a very big concept that we're trying to divide it into a very small parts so that everybody is on the same picture. So when I talk about any kind of application, right, what happens when somebody has to write the application first, right? And then then you have to what developer will do, like in the developer perspective, I'll build the write the code for the application, I'll build it on my local, I'll say okay, this is working, and I'll just kind of bundle it around, and I send it to tester, like this is the perfect code which is working, and then tester will open that zip file, maybe test it in the system, it says it works fine, we are good to go, and we are good to move to the production. Everybody agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Now the question is, why do you need a CI if everything is that seamlessly going on? So I'll tell you why. What happens, for example, let's say your developer has a MacBook, for example, agree? So they have a Linux operating system, they have a different command going on. After that, when they send the bundle to a QA team has a Windows operating system, for example. Okay. Platform changed.
Fine.
It means commands will also change. Agree?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So it means QA will say this thing is not working, right? At the same time, developer will say it is working. Maybe developer has, I don't know how many of you I got the introduction. There are few people, those are already working as a DevOps or maybe in some technical work, right? But some of you are not. So those who are working, think about it, right? And those are not, I'll tell you what I'm talking about. It's like, you know how difficult it is to update a minor version of the application in the production.
Yes.
Because it can impact a lot of performance. Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
So basically, let's say I am using a Nginx, which is a 14 version, for example, and I'm just giving a random version. I don't know if that version exists or not, but the QA has a 10th version, maybe, or maybe 8th version, 2 or 4 versions back. So there is a very big possibility the code which is working perfectly fine with the developer, same code will not work with the QA because it is not aware about it. Everybody clear with that point?
Yes.
So here comes the solution. Solution is, what if I give you a common platform where developer as well as QA, DevOps, developer plus operations, both will building the code at the same platform. There is one single pipeline where it is present. You will be building the pipeline there only. You will be performing a test cases there only. You will be bundling the entire thing there only, and then you will be deploying that bundle from their specific central location only. It means you are removing the scope of software compatibility, platform compatibility, and each other, like every other thing. Are we all clear with that point?
Yes.
Everybody? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
That continuous integration as well as continuous delivery or deployment. I'll talk about it in a detail again. I'll be showing you one diagram. But till this point, everybody of you are able to picture it in your mind, like what is CI/CD?
Yes.
Yes.
Please, I when I went to that screen, I can see 63 or 66 people are available. So please, at least 30 of them can say yes or no. It would be great.
Yes.
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 Thank you so much. So now let's talk about it. So as a developer, you write a code, agree? For example, in the code, what I mean by that, you push the code to a repository. For example, GitLab. GitHub will talk about it. Okay. As a developer, you push the code to a GitHub. Because it is continuous, I'm saying it automatically, whenever you trigger it, like send it, it automatically triggers a job, which is called a webhook. That's just another concept. What it will do, it will automatically start building the code. Is it clear, everyone? Without manual intervention.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, thank you. After that, you can add, after build, you can add a CI checks. When I say CI check, what do I mean by that? CI checks means it could be n number of things. When I say n number of things, it means you are talking about automation test cases, right? You are talking, like I'm talking about credential scanning, right? Maybe you have pushed the credential inside the code. Agree?
Fast and best is maybe.
Exactly, the testing, like security aspect of that code, right? You can add a security here. There can be n number of things you can add in the CI checks. Everybody okay with that? Clear with that?
Fine.
Fine.
Now people argue, like, should this CI check come before build or come after build? What do you guys think about it? Do you have any comment on that?
But it's there on both ends, like before the building process and after the building process. Both ways.
Exactly. That's what I was going to answer. It depends on your use case. For example, think about it in a manner where you say you build the project, your project takes 10 minutes to build. For example, I'm taking a bare minimum. Okay? After that, you find out that in the code you have passed the credentials. The pipeline will fail. Everybody, yes, no?
Yes.
So it means this build time, that the 10 minutes that you spend is going to waste.
Right.
So it means that kind of checks, the credential scanning, for example, that can come before build. It means if you have passed the credential, pipeline should fail here only, so that you can pass, that you can save these 10 minutes. Clear, everyone?
Right.
Yes,
Everybody,
right.
all people,
That's right. Clear.
Same way, there are checks. There are I am forgetting. Like there are few test cases. Those you can only run once the project is built. So it means those will come after post-build checks. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Very nice. Once it passes all security checks, then what you can do simply, you can publish the artifact. Clear, everyone? When I say publish artifact, it does not specifically has to be a application code, right? It could be anything. It could be, for example, it is not has to be a application code. Let's say you have a .txt file which you want to keep every time, right? I'll show you in next few minutes when I'll be showing you Azure pipeline. I'll show you that is also called the artifact. Like for example, you have one test case report, one HTML file, right? So that is also your artifact. So like I have seen people when I take interviews or I'll discuss this in open community. So they say artifact is nothing but the application build code. Whatever you generate, let's say this is a Maven application, the war file is the artifact. So I just want to clear this to everybody. The war file is artifact, but if let's say there is one .html file, that can also be artifact if after a pipeline completes, you are storing it somewhere. This is clear, everyone?
One question.
Sure.
Yeah. So I understood before build CI checks is needed to see the static code analysis, dynamic code analysis, whatever. So in terms of suppose if I'm writing a backend code, a Maven based build product using Spring Boot. So dependency also I can check now before build only. Okay, if these are dependency are there, so one dependency will have
yes.
Right?
Correct. Exactly correct.
Why after build I need CI checks then? Like everything is checked only, right? Dependency is checked, code is also checked. Why after build I need CI checks?
Very good question. Let me tell you one specific example. Let's say I don't know if you have worked with Docker. For example, you build the Docker image, right? Okay. After that, you want to do a scanning on the vulnerability on the image.
But this is already checked, right? Before build.
No, it's not exactly mandatory. That's what I'm saying now. Like there are like some kind of test cases, testing. I'm not exactly able to recall that word, but there are unit testing, for example, right?
Okay.
Unit testing you cannot do before build.
I think CI integration part is a check the code. It is a Sonar Cube. It is integrated with the pipeline, na?
Exactly. So no, SonarQube also, like let's say you want to do a what I'm saying, unit testing of the code, that cannot be done before build.
Okay,
Right?
okay. So unit integration testing, you're saying that should come after build. I mean,
Matlab, you do it on the package only.
Okay, okay.
So that's what I'm saying, right? Like it could be before or after as per our use case. For example, you do not have anything that you want to do post build, right? So it's good if you can keep it there. That's why I said there is no correct answer when it comes to CI/CD. It is just how much mature you can create a CI/CD. If let's say I'll say after publishing the artifact, I'll do a check. Nobody can argue with that. Maybe you have a justification, right? I want to keep everything, whatever I'm building. So I'll not say I'm saying this is a wrong answer. I cannot say that, right? Maybe you have a use case. It's all about creating a mature enough CI/CD where whatever you are publishing is a bug free. Agree?
Okay. Got it.
So till this point, everybody clear?
Yes, no.
Yes.
Very nice. So that's the
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, thank you. So that is the continuous integration. Clear this point? Like this is just a CI part. As of now, I'm not talking about CD. So when somebody asks you like what is CI, so I hope this is clear now. This is the basic bare minimum. After that, as per your I'll say your team has a lot of, like, you are working in a fintech, right? You have to make sure a lot of security part, right? So you can add 5 stages in between publishing and build, right? If let's say you want to make sure everything, each and every small bit, you can add 5 stages here as well. But this is the bare minimum you have to do, where you are saying I'll check out the code, I'll trigger build, I'll do the checks, testing, whatever I want, and then I'll be publishing artifact. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Mehul, I have one question.
Sure.
Basically, in the best practice, what is the best way, and between which way we have to add the security portion? Like, do we have to add before the code, after the build, or where after the publish? As a best practice, where we have to integrate like sync tool or any kind of security scanner or vulnerability scanner, something like that. So where
Correct.
we have to add as a best practice.
Yes, again, that's what I'm saying. Like there is no such thing in CS.
Mhm.
But yeah, if you'll ask me, I'll add it before build. Because if let's say my security checks are not passing, right? I have a credential there around, right? I have used for example, one library which has vulnerability present, right? So why would I build the product? Because I'm not going to use it eventually.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
So as per me, it should be before build.
Okay. So it's totally up to us, right? Where we have to add that one.
Exactly. There is a possibility somebody in this call thinking like why you want to do it before build, because if the build is failing, how doesn't matter how many security fail checks are there, right?
So can we do like here, like as a parallel, like build also happen, scanning also happen, like in this way we can optimize our CI/CD, right?
But at that time you will be using more resources like that.
Yep.
So that people usually do. Like if let's say for example, I have to build as well as I have to build the Docker image, so people
Right.
usually run it parallelly only, right? Because
Right.
eventually we have to save the time, right? That's the main rationale, or you can say the main ask behind the CI/CD. I want to save the time. So
Yeah.
definitely you can go with that. But again, like as I was saying, unit testing that cannot go parallel with this build, because that only happens when you build product and you create that war file or that executable.
Right.
Agree? So
Yep.
again, that's a very good thought. Yes, if let's say it has nothing to do with the build, the security checks, so definitely you can run it parallel.
Yep. Like both job will succeed and we can move ahead for next one.
Correct. But the point is, if let's say security checks only take 15 seconds and build takes 10 minutes, right? So here you are just 15 seconds before only. If let's say it fails, you can just stop it. Agree? So again, it depends. Let's say you have a security which takes 15 minutes. Same way it take build, so you can run it parallelly. So it depends on your use case. It depends how many, because if I need to two, so it means I'll be like parallelly using consuming a two resources, right? At that time. So that is also you have to think about it. Like a lot of factors are there, as I mentioned, right? It depends on the budget of the client as well. How perfect you want the CI/CD. It depends on how important for them the security is, right? It depends on them how important for them the application is. So that all factors are around. Agree?
Yep. Totally agree.
Any other question? Anyone?
So before test, unit test or simple test, the CI pipeline will run. It is related to code, writing code, then building and deploying a resource. That is where till the CI pipeline will run. Testing part is different.
No, this is testing now. CI checks. Here we talked about it could be testing, it could be scanning, credential scanning, it could be vulnerability scanning. So it could be anything.
So CI pipeline will run from code to publish artifact.
Correct.
So it includes testing part.
I think yes, there will be stage for testing. Like for first stage will be code, then build, then testing, then security check, something like that. So each step have a own functionality, right?
I think it's a check something version related for the code.
I think as long as it's going automated, then there will be this stage for a CI
So
check.
basically, you will deploy the resources. You will deploy the resources. So CI pipeline will end till you deploy the resources. CI pipeline will run till you deploy the resources. This is what it is reflected.
Requirement is not there yet.
I'm still not clear that part. That CI pipeline runs. At what stage you will consider that this is the CI pipeline? Till the time we publish the artifact.
Okay, let me share my screen again. Yes, by the time you publish the artifact will be a part of CI pipeline only.
So it includes the so basically the resources will be deployed.
Not deployed. As of now, we have not talked about deploy, right? As of now, we.
So I think the CI is the end product of continuous integration, right? The artifact is the end product of continuous integration.
Exactly. So as of now, we have not deployed it anywhere. It is just you have stored it to a maybe storage account, to if it AWS it's S3, or maybe to a Nexus, maybe in the Azure DevOps artifact tree, JFrog artifact tree. So you have stored the artifact as of now. You have not deployed it anywhere. Clear?
It's a before deployment pipeline. So you will write a code, build a code. Build in the sense you will write it and then you will check it, plan and apply it.
And that's what I was saying. Forget about Terraform at this moment. It could be anything. Let's say it is a Python application, right?
Okay.
So you push the Python code in the build. The step will be stage will be Python stage, where you will be py space building the code.
Okay.
Right? If let's say you are using it for Maven, so the command will be Maven install in the build. So it doesn't matter. That's what I was talking, right? Forget about whatever we were talking, like Terraform or everything else. Just thought about it. It is a generic. Now, if I wake up and I'll say I want to get Go CI, so you will say push the code of Go, right? Build the code of Go, perform checks on the Go language, and then publish the artifact, whatever it creates.
Hey, hi, Aswani this side. Hope you can hear me.
Okay.
Sorry?
Yeah, hi, Aswani this side. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so the build, if I understand that correctly, build is the stage where basically it creates all the Docker images and all those things, or is it something different?
No, I agree with that. Again, if you are working with Docker, then yes, where to build the Docker image is the build. But you are not working with the Docker, you are just working with the virtual machines. So where you run Maven install command, that is the build.
Okay, so Maven install command basically install all the pre-request or libraries for to run that.
Correct. And it creates the .war file or maybe Maven package.
Okay, Maven package. Got you.
Clear, everybody?
Yes.
No?
Yes,
Actually,
yes.
when your network is down now, so it take if you wait for 2 seconds, so it feels like I am gone again. So that's why I ask again. Okay, so till this point, I hope everybody is clear, right? Now CI is clear to everyone.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So in one line, if we need to explain what is CI, then we need to tell the interviewer that it is related to it starts from the pipeline run starts from the code to publish artifact.
Exactly. Code checkout, and then you push the code to repository and to publishing the artifact.
Repeat once again.
To code checkout when somebody push the code to GitHub or any version control to publishing the artifact.
Okay.
Hi, Mehul.
Hi.
So, in case of Terraform, what will be the published artifact?
I'll come to that.
Okay. So they will
if you want, I can give you right now the answer. Let's say now you have to know bit Terraform, right? Let's say you create it does create one file called plan.out, right? Where you store you plan. It's like the map of the home. First you create a map, right? Like how my home is like from the architect, like how my house is going to look. Agree?
Yeah.
It's like the map, so that when you run the apply, you can refer to that only, or could be entire code. I'll talk about it in a very detailed manner. I'll show you where exactly you can do much more better what we have done. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now once the CI is done, after that, let's say you publish the artifact, and right after publishing, it automatically deploys it to any environment. For example, when I say continuous deployment, it should go till production. Agree? So continuous integration, this entire thing. Okay. And after that, once the artifact is published, it went to dev environment. It went automatically once deployed on dev. You should be strong enough with your test cases. You should be 100% certain if my code has passed this stage, it cannot have any bug. It will not be having, like for example, Google, right? Sometimes you must have noticed like the daytime you refresh, the logo changes, right? It means they push the code and at the same time they build it. They have a very good number of security checks, all the checks, testing and everything. Published artifact, they directly deploy to all other environments, testing performs, and then it goes to the production without any manual intervention. The catch here is without any manual intervention. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody, that's a very important when it comes to continuous deployment and continuous delivery. There is a very small difference. If without any manual intervention, it is going to a production environment, that is a continuous deployment. And if there is a manual approval needed, for example, before sending production, you raise one CR where you look for approval, change request. Okay. Let's say for some reason you create a wait for approval in the Jira ticket or any ticket. So because there is one human intervention involved. Yes, no?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that means it is a continuous delivery. So now are we clear with the difference between delivery and deployment?
Yes.
Everybody?
Yes, clear.
Great. So can I move to the next slide now if nobody has any question?
Sure.
Thank you. So now if I talk about how you can achieve the CI/CD, so famous tool Jenkins, Circle CI. This is, anybody knows what it is?
GitLab.
GitLab.
Correct. Same way GitHub Actions is also around. Build Piper. Anybody aware? Yes. So that's also can help you to create This is a tool from Opstree. So that tool also helps you like to prepare like quickly create a CI/CD pipelines, right? And in the end, I'll say Azure DevOps. That is also a tool among all these tools. So I think, can I move to the next slide?
Yes.
Yes, sure.
Yes, thank you. So our tool for today, that is Azure DevOps. Okay, I'll not spend time on this. Then why exactly Azure DevOps is needed? Now the question, the big question, Azure DevOps. So Azure DevOps is not just a CI/CD tool. Okay. So when I talk about Azure DevOps now, okay, for let's leave Azure DevOps. Think about it and in end-to-end application perspective. Okay. So let's say you have an application, right? So before starting to work, you need to do a planning. Agree, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, no?
Yes.
Thank you. So you need to do a planning where you will do a sprint plan, like in how many time, like how much time I'm going to complete it, right? Everybody agree with me, right? That's how it works.
Yes.
So planning, it's there. So Azure DevOps helps you with sprint plan and everything. I'll talk about it later in the next slide, how exactly it does that. But as of now, just trust on my words, like it can help you, like it can help you with the planning part. Next thing is writing a code, right? You need a version control system. Agree? For any application. Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, I'm only like hearing 2 or 3 voices only. Please be interactive. That's how you learn, right? Like, because after some time the manual part will come, like where you have to do a hands-on. So that time also, like, I need a lot of interaction. So just practice a bit here. So code so Azure DevOps has option to work as a version control system as well. It does have their entire section where they work as a distributed version control as well as centralized version control. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
After that, integration builds. It does give you the option to integrate between 1 or 2 things, right?
Right.
After that, if it will help you with the CI step. Here you can say this is a CI pipeline, right? Integration and build. Then post build checks, because if let's say you build the code, you want to perform the test cases, right? It could come before or that. So test plans also you can write in the Azure DevOps. Okay. After that, I was talking about publishing the artifact, right? Packaging. So it does give you one artifact tree as well inside the Azure DevOps only. Clear?
Yes.
After that, when I was talking about CD pipeline, here in Azure DevOps, you call it release. So it does give you option for CD pipelines as well. Okay.
Right.
After that, I'll say reporting should come with all of these items. For example, reporting once, what is the state, what is the dashboard looking like, everything. It does give you option to create a dashboards and everything as well. Clear?
Yes.
And then in the end, it does give you option to prepare your documentation. So already liking this Azure DevOps? So it's like a combined package for all the needs one can have in the entire application development phase. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yes. Clear.
Perfect. So now, if I talk about what is Azure DevOps, so as I mentioned earlier, Azure DevOps Server is a Microsoft product that provides version control, reporting, requirement management, project management, automated builds, testing, and release management compatibilities. So it's like entire, it covers the entire application lifecycle and enables DevOps capabilities. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes. Yes, it's clear.
Wow, great. So now how it does that? So first, Azure boards. It basically is useful. So do you want me to compare with the different tools as well, or are you all able to do it? So for example, Azure boards, right? It does give you option to do a sprint planning, to create a dashboard, to reporting and everything. It can be done via this Azure board section. Clear, everyone? Do you think of any other example other than Azure DevOps for sprint planning and everything?
Jira.
Jira.
Exactly. So those all things in the Jira, you have a Confluence, right?
Yes.
Where you do a documentation, it has the wiki where you can do all the documentation. Okay.
Azure board function is?
It's a total separate section in the Azure DevOps. I'll show you in a minute. Like I'll show you the UI now. So at that time I'll show you again. Okay.
It is used for which? It is used for
Used
what?
for sprint planning. It's used for dashboards. It used for wikis if you want to create the documentation. All that things can be done under this Azure boards area.
Okay.
So plan, track, discuss work across teams, delivery values of your users faster. Okay. Then I was talking about storing the code, right? Version control. So Azure repos is present inside the Terraform. Is present inside this. So where you can take care of that part as well. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Very nice. So this is a version control. It is a distributed version control, as well as it does give you option for centralized as well. Again, after that CI/CD. So Azure pipelines is the section where you can create a CI/CD pipelines. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
I was talking about testing. So Azure test plans is the section where you can write your automation test cases. I'm like, as a DevOps, you will not be using it. I have not used this, if I'll tell you the truth. But yes, developer does use this feature as well. Okay. For now, we'll be just ignoring it. Okay. And then the Artifactory I was talking about, the Azure artifacts, where you can push the artifacts. Those are getting created inside this CI pipeline. And because all these things are in the same platform, so you can think about how easy it will be the compatibility in between or connectivity in between these tools. Agree, everyone?
Yes.
So for example,
Artifact is you will add it these artifacts to the CI Azure pipelines.
Think about it. Have you ever worked with Nexus or JFrog Artifactory? No, it's fine. So what happens now when you build the application, right? So it does create one executable. Agree?
Yes.
So you want to keep that safe with you in case in future if the error comes into a new code, so you can do a rollback. Agree?
Yes.
So you have to store it somewhere. So people use it Nexus, people use JFrog Artifactory. Same way, you have another option which is Azure Artifacts as well.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Can artifact be compared with the images also?
Compare with images? No.
Because
Docker
in
images,
images we can have versions, right?
Sorry?
In images also we can have versions. I mean the tag.
So same way you can have the yes. Acha. I thought you were asking if you can store the images also. You cannot store images, but yes, you can have a version in everything. So images also you store in the ACR, in the Azure Container Registry, or maybe Docker Hub. Agree? Or ECR. Same way, it's the ACR of packages, executables.
Okay.
Okay.
So both can be used interchangeably, right?
Sorry?
Both can be used interchangeably. I mean, whichever I required. I mean, for my backend application, I can use images also and artifact also, depending on my use case.
If it is an image, if it is running on Docker, right? So that is a Docker image, right? So that you will be storing in the ACR. Why I'm saying sorry, ACR, I should not say. Maybe you're using a different cloud, right? That you'll be storing in any container registry. Okay.
Okay.
And if it is a package that is supposed to run on virtual machine, that you can store on Azure Artifacts.
Got it. Okay.
Now the best part is for Azure DevOps, you need not, it is not mandatory, like you should be on Azure cloud only. If let's say you are running on GCP, then also you can use this as your compact CI/CD. So it does have the compatibility with other clouds.
आपका हेडफोन
Hello?
Please continue. Noise था वो.
From my side?
नहीं किसी user की तरफ से.
Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you. So now the major topic comes, which is what, like CI/CD of Terraform using Azure DevOps. Okay, so as of now, have you got some picture about what is Terraform, why Terraform, and Azure DevOps? What is CI/CD, why CI/CD? All these things are clear to you all?
Yes.
Everyone, till this point, are we all good? Like, you are liking the session?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes, Mohan.
I hope as of now you have learned something. So now it's time to learn how exactly CI/CD can be done for Terraform. First, let me tell you why we thought about that. Okay. So from the start, like when we started, right, we are saying like everybody talks when they talk about CI/CD. Now everybody talks about application code, right? Like application code should be secure, application code should be written in the best practices, application code should be having all test cases, application code should have this, that, a lot of areas. Agree, everyone?
Right.
Yes.
So same goes for, because Terraform is also written in a form of code, right? From the start, I'm saying that. So it means, don't you think in Terraform code also these all checks should be around?
Right.
Right? When somebody is writing a code, so that code should be having all best practices, right? That should also have all security checks. There also we should make sure we are not pushing any secret. Everybody agree with that point? Yes.
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 So
Right.
here comes, so I have divided it into a very small parts, right? So we'll go step by step. The way we up now, you all have to imagine, or you can just have to picture what we learned here. Where? In this. What we learned. Oh, I could have gone directly there. Okay, what we have learned here. Okay. So just remember that when I say CI/CD, so you just remember code, build, check, publish artifact, direct deploy, and manual invention. Okay. Yes, no?
Okay. Yes.
Let me quickly go again. Okay. So now if you'll start with the left hand side, so first step is you used the Azure repos where you committed the code, you triggered it, you had a different parameters. Clear, everyone? Azure repos role in this entire thing. So this is our first CI, point of CI code.
Yes.
And it triggered the job. Then the next thing is comes the CI where you build. Up now for the Terraform, right? So what all things I need? I need a Terraform setup there. Agree? Yes, no?
Yes.
I need a Azure CLI because I'll be using some command of Azure. And because I'm using a Docker images as well, so I need a Docker as well as a prerequisite. Everybody agree with me? Yes or no?
Oh, yes. So this is a build machine, right? Where the code will be built.
Exactly.
So
This is a CI.
So we configure this. How we configure this?
We have a steps.
Okay.
In the wiki present, right? But this one can argue, right? Why I need this step? I can create my agent where I can manually go and install all these things, right? I can save some time for this stage. Everybody agree with me?
I have a question here. Is it mandatory thing to Docker in the Terraform?
No, it has nothing to do with Docker. Again, as I mentioned, right? Terraform is a totally different tool. I like Docker. It makes life easy because I need not to manually install everything again and again. That's why I installed Docker, and I'm using few things with the Docker image. But I'll show you, I'll share the links with you. You can manually set up on your machine as well. Okay? Is that answer your question?
So,
Sorry, please go ahead.
yeah, this is installing required software. So you have mentioned Terraform as your CLI. In Terraform, what need to install?
Terraform is a tool, right? So when you run the Terraform init command, actually this step can be ignored as well. I'll tell you that, because when you use the stage, I'll show you in future. Like when we were doing a hands-on that time I'll show you. So it can be later also, it can be installed, but you can install the Terraform as a tool, right? Because you eventually run Terraform space command. Agree? So what happens in, like, again, as I always say, right? When I talk about CI/CD, I always try to do it what if you have to run it on any other environment as well, right? So for example, I'll tell you the example why I'm saying that. When it comes to Azure DevOps, right, it creates the tasks for you. For example, you will look for a specific Terraform task. So it has a task where you can automatically install it. But in reality, behind the scene, they have written the logic. If somebody uses this task, so you have to go there and run this command like apt install Terraform. For example, everybody agree with me, yes or no? That's how the task works. Yes?
Yes. Yes.
That's like everybody agree with this point?
Yes.
What about others? Is it
Could you come
agreeable? Sorry?
Can you repeat once?
Could you come again?
Yeah.
Sure. So please ask. It's fine to if you'll ask again. So what I'm saying is, if I talk about Azure DevOps, right? So Azure DevOps has a feature called tasks. Okay, where you will create one task where you will say, I want to install Terraform. But in reality, if you logically think about it, behind the scenes, somebody has written a code or the logic. If this task is called, you have to go there and run the command apt install Terraform. I'm not saying this is a correct command. Maybe the logic is very bigger, just like this. So, but you have got the picture, right? That's what I'm trying to say.
So
Okay.
whatever we have to install, we give this as task in the
Correct.
pipeline, and then when this part gets triggered, so those instructions will also get triggered, right?
Correct. But for me, CI pipeline is more than Azure DevOps, or because what if you run it on Jenkins? So your entire concept will fail. Correct? Because in Jenkins there is no option for creating a task. Like you do not have automated or pre-built tasks. Agree?
Yes.
So for that, what we always prefer, let's do it in a old-fashioned manner. So though we have a task, we will be using a task, but in the architecture diagram, we are saying you can manually install the Terraform as well by using the command app, because eventually that is only happening, right? But if I'll tell you tomorrow, like this is not Azure DevOps, tomorrow I'll come with the Jenkins session for the same thing. So my diagram should not be impacted because of that. Agree?
Okay. Yes.
Right.
So there is a possibility, there is not possibility, I'll say this is there. Like these tasks are pre-present in the Azure DevOps. You might need not to install Terraform again and again, right? You can skip this task. There you might need not to install Docker again and again. That is achievable. Okay?
Fine.
Okay. Next, if I'll go, then I am pulling the all required images. Again, if you are running it here, you might not need it, but everywhere else where you have to manually run sh commands, right? There you have to build the tfsec image. I'll talk about what tfsec, what tflint and costing is. But for now, just understand it like we are pulling all the required images, those we need for the pipeline. After that, again, it comes the Terraform, where you can see we will be executing Terraform commands like init, plan, as well as validate. So this will be 3 stages: Terraform init for initializing the setup, Terraform validate, and then we'll be running a Terraform plan. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Very good. Then, because I shared here, you remember in the CI pipeline, we were talking about checks, CI checks.
Yes.
So here in the plan, you can consider it as a build, and then the security checks. So tfsec for the security scanning, linting, tflint for linting, cost estimation, like cost estimation is the image name, is for estimate how much cost the infrastructure that I'm going to create is going to like put me on, like how much cost it is going to. Okay.
Linting mean?
How costly? Sorry?
Linting, what does linting mean?
Linting as in, I'll talk about it in a minute, but just to give you a quick answer, it's like validation of the code, right? It should have all the best practice. For example, how will I test the linting? For example, you have a check where you accidentally define a wrong type of SKU for in Azure, for example. Okay. So it will, in the lint, it will tell you this does not exist. You are wrong.
That is region specific, right? Matlab, somewhere I want a machine and that is not present in the given region that I've mentioned in my configuration, and it will actually check and validate whether the given configuration is available in the region or not.
Exactly. That is also possible. Can be done via linting. I'll show you. I'll share the entire repository with you all. You can explore as much as you want. Okay. Perfect. After that, once I do the cost estimation, I check linting, I check the security wala part like TFSec. Then I'll do, once these all things are done, then I have to store it somewhere, right? It is like my TFSec, like my security report was good, right? My linting was good, right? My cost was this only, right? So the logs for cost estimation and security, I'll be storing inside the file. Clear, everyone? Because this might be needed in future, right? I provision the infrastructure. How will I know? So I have a file present that I can
What is the
separate files, huh?
name and format of this file?
that we can see. I'll just show you in a minute.
There will be separate files for all the TFSec. There will be separate file for that, right?
Correct. It will be a separate file. So we have added a logic where we are adding a build number along with the security file. Same way for the cost, we are creating a HTML file. Okay.
Fine.
After that, once you created it, you want to store it somewhere, right? So those files, we are pushing it to a Azure storage. Maybe for you, it could be anything else as well. But because we did not need a versioning and this is a cheaper service, so that's why we went with it. Okay.
Fine.
After that, the main logic comes for till this point. This is a CI because the publish release as well as the publishing the report. Now we added a check where we said every time I want to publish these images, these artifact. I was saying like I'll show you these are not the executable but still part as artifact. Agree? So these reports. So these reports are part of this artifact which is called publish report. Clear, everyone?
Yes.
And if the code is coming from the main branch, because eventually I'll be only approving the code of the main branch only, right? After that, other than like, let's say this is coming from a dev branch. Maybe it passed all the checks, but I do not want to make it a release, right? Agree, everyone? I do not want to trigger a CD pipeline if it is not coming from a main or a master branch. You can remove this logic. You can say every time I push the code, every time it runs, I want this to be implemented on my environment. But it depends on your use case. Everybody agree with me? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Everyone? Yes. So we are saying if the branch is main, yes, then only it should publish the release, and the same time we have added a check where it will automatically trigger the release pipeline or CD pipeline where we are running a Terraform apply. Is it clear, everyone? Yes or no? So this is build pipeline till this point, and then this is a release pipeline which will automatically only trigger once this release is coming as an artifact. It means if I running a feature branch, it will stop pipeline here. Nothing will get triggered in the release. But if it is coming from a main branch, it will trigger the CD environment or the release pipeline as well. Is it clear, everybody?
Can I put a switch here, like a decision switch, instead of only implementing the main branch, just in case I need to put a feature into action, into the system.
That's what is there in the wiki. When you'll do a wiki now, we'll work on the wiki. So at that time we have mentioned how you can achieve it. So as per your requirement, as per your logic, you can do it. It's not like if let's say it came here, right? It's not like you cannot manually run it. Manually you can run it. I'm talking about automatically when I want. Maybe you published it here, artifact is around, you can manually run it.
Yeah, I can put a trigger here, if I approve it and then only it will be implemented. If I don't approve
yes,
it, right?
that also I'll show you. Like for the destroy, we have added approval as well. You need a 2 approval, you need a single person approval, you need one, like first you need my approval, then you need Himanshu's approval, something like that. You can do it.
This report will be published from artifacts.
Sorry?
This published report is basically coming from the artifacts.
Coming from the artifacts? No. It is just publishing the artifacts.
Sorry, we are publishing the artifacts, right?
Exactly, yes. Because reports you every time you want, right? Let's say you pushed it from the dev branch, right? So you publish the report, your manager will come and check, okay, there is no security issue, there is cost, yeah, that's what that we know, like this is the difference in the cost, like yes, $5 will increase, right? They merged, you have already raised the PR, so you merged it to a production branch, yeah, or main branch, you automatically the pipeline will get triggered, and then automatically release will be there, and it will apply it on the environment, whatever you want.
So published artifacts is where the CI ends. The published report, the published artifacts.
Yes. See this?
Yes.
So this is the continuous integration till publish, and then when it is going to release, it is a continuous deployment.
Hey, Mehul, sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
I have a quick question regarding the storing of Docker build. Like when we build the image, okay, are we storing somewhere in this build pipeline?
No need, because these are the public images, those we are using as an application. We do not, we are not building these images, right? We are pulling the images. See there?
Okay. So we are just pulling them, and we are just do this scanning. That's
yes.
Sorry. Okay. Great. Right. So this is not a scenario where we are building our custom image from the our application, because these are not because we are not pulling the our application code.
Exactly.
We are generally getting
Terraform.
the Docker Hub. We are getting a Docker Hub, I guess.
So if I'll tell you, like, if like, let me just give you a representation of a normal application, for example, right? So nothing will change. The code commit and trigger and parameter will be there, because application code will be around. Yes. Maybe in the installation required software section, instead of Terraform, you will be installing other maybe, if again I'll say Go, so you will be installing Go language. Agree?
Yes.
And then in the Docker might not be needing, but in the executing Terraform, instead of that, you will be building Go language. Like in the Go language step, you will have here, right? Instead of Terraform logo. After that, whatever security checks you want to perform, CI checks. For example, I think Go test is the command for test cases. Maybe SonarQube you can add, somebody was recommending, right? Then you want to publish those reports to somewhere, otherwise you can skip these stages, and then you can just publish the artifact as per your use case. So again, it is not, let's not make it a tool specific, because this is Terraform session. That's why we are saying all these things are related to Terraform. But if it is a Golang, if it is a Python application, if it is a Maven application, so everything will remain same, just the stages, the commands will be changed. Everybody agree with that? Yes or no? Like, are you all agreeing with it?
Yes, Mehul, right.
So can I move to the next slide?
Yes, please.
Okay. So now init is nothing but just a initialize command. Sorry, somebody saying something? Oh, okay. So init is a short of initialize. I'll not read the theory. So Terraform init is the first command that you run in the Terraform, right? So you just look into the commands. It's just init, where if let's say you have, it kind of looks for the provider you have defined, on the basis of that it install the plugin and everything, that kind of task this init takes care. Any question, anyone? Feel free to stop me in between. Validate is nothing but just it's like validating if we have made any what do we call it, syntax error, right? If like instead of string we pass something else, that kind of things. So these things you can do just Terraform validate. At that time you can see if there is any error or not. Then lint is somebody who was asking. So basically command that I was showing you, right? Docker command. So Docker run we are using. I'll show you the repository link in the end. So basically this Terraform linters and TF lint is the image, right? So where what you can do a static code analysis. For example, I'll give you the example how exactly I use it in my use case. So Terraform lint I majorly use, for example, you have an unused variable. Let's say you defined one variable, but you are not using it. Will it come as a standard practice for application code, for example? You created a function which you are not using it. Agree? You do not want that in your code. Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
So that kind of stuff this lint catches. It says you have a variable defined which you are not using. Okay. Now it has a very vast number, so you can do it a lot of checks. For example, you define, as I was giving you example, right? Like for example, you define one application, like let's say image type. For example, I need a standard D7, but in reality it does not exist, right? It will throw the error. It does not exist. You should choose between these options. Agree? So these kind of things will be taken care via Terraform lint.
So Terraform lint is checking the code of the Terraform script, not the code which I have written for which all these things are happening, right?
It is checking the code which you have written only, right? Like your Terraform code only it is compiling.
Okay, not the actual code which it will be deploying. I'm just confirming. I mean, suppose I have written a Java code, backend code.
No. We are just talking about Terraform. It's just specific to Terraform. Okay. Can I move to the next slide?
Yes.
Thank you. Then Terraform plan, again, as I was saying, in the architect manner, right? It will run that part. After that, security, right? When I talk about security, in this you have a multiple tools, as the name is suggesting, right? TFSec is one of them. Check OV is the one. TerraScan is one famous tool. TFSec, why I went with TFSec, it's from Equa, I suppose, if I'm not wrong, and they have a Trivy as well, if my understanding is correct, and which is a very famous tool and around Docker. So what happens? TFSec, what it does, for example, you want to limit your resource group must have the name tag available. Are you able to relate? Because people try to avoid tags, right?
Your resource group must have
a tag available, name tag, or maybe environment type, maybe honor type.
The
Agree?
tag,
Tag, yes,
right?
tag.
Yeah.
Or maybe you should only be able to deploy resources inside the Asia region only, East Asia, for example, right?
Fine.
Agree? So that kind of checks you can add under this TFSec. Clear, everybody? This is just a small example. There are n number of things, like thousands of checks are around, but these are the minimum, like everybody can relate. That's why I'm taking those. And it does give you option. The benefit is you can write it in a YAML. Like for this, I find it difficult, TF-lint, because you have to, if let's say you want to add any extra plugin, right? So you have to write it inside the in the Go language. But here you can just pass the YAML and you are good to go. I'll show you how. Okay, we have created our custom checks. Okay. Can I move to the next slide?
Yes.
One more question.
Sorry, yes, please.
Like, yeah, here you're providing the file names, right? So is there any default file name which will automatically take, or every time we have to like pass the file name?
Which file name we are providing?
Like tvars file you provided, right? SRC Terraform.
There is a reason behind it, right? Like it does look for a like how will it will check those variables, right? So why we are providing it now? Let's say again, because I'm using a Docker image. Agree?
Yes.
At the same time, what if I'm using it in a, like I installed it in my virtual machine, okay? And that machine I'm using as an agent, I have pre-installed areas. So there I'll just run tflint space dot, and automatically it will fetch all the things, because I have to move these things inside this Docker image. That's why I'm mounting this volume. And for read it, I have to pass the TFVars. That is the syntax. So in reality, if I'll say, I don't know, how can I write it? I cannot write it here, but so what I'll write, tfsec space dot space hyphen TFVars, this one. So this step is not needed. Clear?
Okay. Yep. It's somewhat clear actually, not.
Let me show you then.
Like as you told, if in a directory we have multiple TF file, it will automatically take and understand. Similarly, if I have multiple TF file,
there are two areas, right? One is TF files. Let me tell you the reason why. You are aware about this TF file. What is the use case of that?
Yeah, we declare the variable and we will use that variable in the TF file by like a referencing kind of a thing.
Excellent. So let me tell you one thing. Think about it in this manner. Let's say I'm using a Docker image, right? But what if I'm running it in a virtual machine? So I have already installed it, for example. Okay. So what I have to do, tfsec dot. It automatically fetches all the images. Why we are showing this variable? Because it's not mandatory. You have to make the file name terraform.tf. This is the default file. Agree?
Okay.
It could be dev.tf as well.
Yeah.
Agree? So how this file will be captured? So that here comes this specific command, --tf vars file. Maybe I'm saying in the Docker image, if you are using a terraform.tf vars file, you need not to provide that. But just to give you the flag, because what happens now, maybe tomorrow when you are practicing, you might have something else, right? It's always better to go with the best practice. Wow, provide the flag so that now you know to pass the tf vars file, you have to do it. Agree?
Okay. Mehul, yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Everybody else?
Yes.
And the major important, that this is the slide that makes a lot of impact. That is a cost estimation. This is the tool, infra cost is the tool that will tell you exactly how much the infra that you are going to create is going to cost. For the cost estimation, you use the command breakdown. And if you want to see a difference, earlier it was costing you $10, now it is $20. For that, you have to use the same thing. Okay, it's maybe not there. Instead of breakdown, you can use a diff command. Clear, everybody? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Where I will run this command, Terraform cost.
Sorry?
Where I will run this command. You write the code and you run, you plan, and then you validate, and then you apply. Then where you run
Infra
this
cost,
command,
yes.
Terraform cost estimation.
Infra cost, jo hai na, that works on the output file, the .out file I was talking about in the plan that it gets created. So it reads that entire plan. Okay, so you are going to create this inside this region. So it knows how like they are somehow connected with the billing API, or they automatically calculates the price for you.
So it read the output file. Okay.
Correct. Not output.tf, but when you run the plan, then it does create one .out file, right? If you want -out flag.
Yes.
That one. So in the wiki, when you'll perform the all tasks now, so you will get all the answers. Okay. Great. Can I move to the next slide?
Yes.
Perfect. Now generating and uploading the reports. So it's the normal thing. That's why we are installing the Azure CLI. So Azure storage, blob, upload. That's a very simple, right? Just a Azure CLI command to upload to a blob storage that you already have. Can I move to the next slide?
Yes.
Generating the artifact. Again, it's easy one. Create an Azure pipeline artifact, just where we'll be creating two artifacts, a report as well as the release. Then the apply in the CD. That's the common thing. Terraform apply -- auto approve. Executes the desired configuration to the cloud. Agree?
Hey,
If it is, sorry.
Can you go to the previous slides? Previous one.
Previous.
Yeah, this one. Like, why we are like uploading these reports on the storage account? Can we like these are kind of artifacts, right?
Can be done. I got your question. You like what if we can do it on the artifact?
Yeah.
Right, we can do it, but again, like what I was thinking around it, a lot of scope is there, right? When you're implementing it now, you will ask me a lot of questions like, Mehul, why don't you do this? You can, It is just to give you the possibilities those you can achieve by Azure DevOps.
Okay, okay. Because in that diagram, which we discussed before,
It can be
these
done.
okay, at that time it wasn't there, so that's why I thought this should be under Azure artifacts only.
No, it was there actually. See,
Storage account one.
this is
Okay, yeah, upload the TF. Okay, fine. So either we can upload on the storage account, or we can directly push them to the published reports, like artifacts.
exactly. We are doing this both steps. So
Okay,
that's
but
what
as a
I'm.
best practice, I believe we should store them on the Azure account or blob storage, right?
Like it depends again. Again, everything depends on the use case. For us, why I thought about putting it into a storage account, because it is cheaper, and these are just the reports, right?
Okay.
Small KBs files. So it won't cost me a lot, and this is storage account. I can give people access easily. So that's why.
Okay. Fine.
So
one report will be published, then release will be published. Means in that flowchart, publish report. If branch is main, then publish report, and then publish a release.
So they have different stages. Like it has like these two can have parallelly.
So if branch is equal to main, that means publish report will be happen first or publish release.
Doesn't matter. These two are independent, right? Publish release has the .tf files of the repository, correct?
Okay.
And publish report has whatever we are creating in these files. The HTML file
Report
as
will
that.
be published anyhow, but the release will be done only if the condition is met, right?
Correct.
Which condition?
This
If branch
the branch is main.
No, I am saying that first publish report will be published, then release will be it, then publish release will happen.
It will happen parallelly.
Parallelly, it can happen, but how does that matter? Like, because it has separate data, which has no prerequisite dependency. So it doesn't matter if it is happening first or it is happening first. It depends, like first if I define this, so first it will be happening. If I define this, then it will be happening. Or if I define parallel, so both will be happening at a same time.
So whatever the code we write it, and if it will be merged to main branch, then release will happen.
Yes, that's the hope. Well, that's the expectation.
Fine. And then report, when we need to have the publish report? Well, then on what condition we require this publish
No
report?
condition. Every time whenever we are putting anything in the repository, the pipeline is running. I want every time it should be around.
Okay.
I think if it meets this Docker image run Docker image situation, this condition is met, it will publish the report anyhow, right?
Yep.
As per this given use case.
Yes. Because I want the one that I mentioned, right? I want, like, let's say first I ran it with the dev environment, right? Dev branch.
Yes.
Agree? You're following the entire GitOps methodology. You're saying like I cannot directly push to a main branch. I push it to a feature branch or maybe dev branch. Then I'll get it reviewed. I'll raise the MR. In the MR, you can add the link of these two publish report as well. Okay, see, this is the code. It has passed the TFSec. It is under the correct region. It has all the correct tags. Those we were asked, all the security checks it has passed. It has no linting issues, right? And this is the cost, the diff command, this is the cost that it is going to that is going to cost us, right?
So before going into final production stage, we use publish report because it is not going into the main branch.
Exactly.
And what
But
is this landing? Landing, you mentioned something about landing.
Landing?
You mentioned that one security check will happen.
Linting.
And then
Linting.
Linting.
So
Okay.
lint is happening here.
Okay.
Then only the report is getting generated. If the lint will fail, this report will not get generated. Pipeline will stop here only.
Okay.
Now, one thing that while discussing, I thought about one thing. We can make one thing, right? If it is going to a production, I do not need a TFSec report, right? So maybe I can add a check here. If branch is not equal to main, then I do not need a reports. Agree? Because main means it is going to production. And dev, because I cannot directly merge it to a production, it means it is coming from a UAT branch maybe, so that I can see what exactly it is going to cost and everything. Agree? It could be a logic, all I'm saying.
Okay.
But it depends on your use case again, right? Everybody agree with me? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Okay. Move to the next slide.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Already cost. Loading, generating artifact, apply, and then this is the infrastructure that we are going to create. First, I'll add the virtual machine inside it. So it's basically in Azure Cloud, VNet we are creating, resource group on top of it we are creating. After that, we'll be creating a 2 subnets. Okay, so this is the very basic bare minimum, because as I was expecting, like we won't want to go inside much on the Terraform side. It's just a very simple code should be there, and that's clear. Any question you have?
No, we are having only 5 minutes available for this session.
Yes,
So how
I'll
can
just
we
quickly
complete
go
that?
through it. It's the end actually. So I'll just give you the
Okay.
entire demo of that, and then I suppose it is supposed to end at 2:30 if I'm not wrong. In the time wise, but it's fine. Like this is the demo wise. Like this is the wiki where you can find all the wikis. I'll be sharing this PPT with everyone. And Opsy does contribute on, like we does work on the open source contribution, right? So this is the open source Azure modules where we are keeping all of them in the Terraform. If let's say you want to use it for your clients, so these are perfectly tested on the clients and everywhere, so should work fine. And if you have any question, just you can reach out to me on LinkedIn or wherever you want. And if I talk about references, so TFLint, this is the GitHub repository of that. TFSec, this is that repository of that. And the InfraCost, this is the website for them. Okay.
You share your LinkedIn or your contact details or email ID in this chat, so that we can note it down, because I have to leave after few minutes.
I'll add it in the PPT as well. You are added in the channel where in the WhatsApp groups.
I just joined it by registering it, but I don't know whether I will be added in this.
Sure. Let me take care of that.
I will note it down and will.
So, but that's all from the PPT side. Till this point, anybody has any question?
No.
No,
You have explained everything very well and demonstrate the concept. So it's a really learning and informative session.
The major part is still left. Just allow me a minute. Let me share my LinkedIn profile first. I'll be sharing everything with you all. Okay, just for like he has to leave, so that's why I'm just sharing it quickly.
So what you are going to cover now?
Like basically we'll be talking about like hands-on, whatever we discuss now.
Okay.
That we are going to do now.
I pasted your LinkedIn profile in the chat.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Let me come back to a window where we can share. Oh, yes, that's the correct file. Thank you. Okay, so now let me just show you exactly. Or Himanshu, would you like to do it?
Like regarding what?
Let me just quickly show that.
Sure,
Just a minute.
sure.
So if I'll give you the walkthrough of the entire Azure DevOps, right? That's what I wanted to do. So you remember? So in the Azure DevOps, what happens? This is how you can create a multiple or like organizations. Okay, like Opsy POC is the organization, Snatak is the organization, right? These are the inside the organization. You get to create multiple projects. In the project, let's say I have a OT Opsy Terraform CICD workshop, right? Inside it, you have multiple options. Like I was talking about boards. So these are the dashboards where in this section you have a summary dashboard where you can create the pipeline status and everything. Wiki for the documentation, for board for the sprint and everything, right? Backlog, sprints, queries. If somebody has delivery plans, you can create. Clear everyone? What is board? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
After that, repos the version control where I am keeping my entire code, right? So it does give me all the options like main df and everything it has, where you can add commits. So in the wikis we have added a stages where you can work on the branching strategy as well. So that also I want you to all of you to explore. Okay. After that, the third option was pipeline. In the pipeline, the normal pipelines are the CI pipelines. There you have multiple release for the CD pipeline. I'll just in a minute entire thing I'll show you. After that, the test plans, the one that I was talking about majorly for developers, where you can write a test cases and everything. After that, in the end, the artifacts, where you store your artifacts, those whatever you are, the first package, let's say. Is it clear, everybody?
Yes.
Yes. It's clear.
Sorry if I'm going a bit fast. Feel free to stop me
And
anywhere. Right?
pipeline, just click on that pipeline.
Sure thing. Now,
this is CI or CD?
This is CI. Release is the CD. I'll just allow me a minute.
Okay.
By that time, overview is clear, everybody?
Yeah. Only overview is perfect.
Perfect. Now, if I'll go inside this CI pipeline, so you have a classic editor like Jenkins, right? You have a freestyle job as well as pipeline as a code. Agree? Same way, you have a classic editor as well as pipeline as a code. For now, I don't want you to go inside the complexity, but just for the time being, I thought I'll make this public also, this entire organization. Like this project, so that you all can copy paste, and in the wiki also this is present. But this is how the code will look like when it comes to the YAML, where each and every step you can read easily. Like, okay, so this is the display name, which is Terraform plan. It means in this task, plan is happening. Agree, everyone? Same way, in the pipeline also, you can create, if I'll go here and if I'll show you the logs here, because this is coming from the master branch. So that's why it has two published artifacts, because the branch is
Main.
Agree? And at the same time, if I'll show you, the branch is what? Feature. So how many artifacts it will be building, publishing?
One.
Clear?
One.
Only one. Why? Because the branch is different, so only publishing the reports. Clear, everybody?
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Now it is like it is creating a picture in your mind. And if you'll see here, so here two published, one is release where the Terraform code is present, and one is report where the reports. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
And please let me know if I'm going a bit fast. I just thought like time is there, so it's Saturday. So that's why I'm just doing it quickly.
Sorry, but I would suggest to go a bit slow.
Definitely.
Because our main purpose is to learn, right?
Definitely.
I don't have any problem if time exceeds, and I believe everyone has the same thought, because we are learning, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Right? That's the approach actually. I would love to do that. Perfect. So do you like till this point anyone has any question?
No, not really.
Do we get this recording session?
Definitely you will.
So any link where you will share this recording session?
Are you on the WhatsApp group?
Yes.
Then perfect. Otherwise, we'll be dropping a message on the LinkedIn as well.
Fine.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
So just whosoever is dropping wanted to show like this is the repository, the one that we will be sharing. In the wiki section, if you will go now, so all these stages, like you will create the exact pipeline which is there by following this specific wiki step by step, and in the end manual approval and every other step, the branching policy that I was talking about. So all the labs are around. These all things are tested already. Like we have personally went there and tested it, so that I really hope like from the beginner state, like from the very new account creation, after that only from the project level you will be able to create it. Okay. Otherwise, I'll be definitely around. Whenever you have any question, you can ask it. Okay. Let's let's go here. So till this point, nobody has any question. Agree?
Agree.
Perfect. So now, in this pipeline, there is an option called pipe. Like when you go to a pipeline, so it does have this pipeline. Inside it, you can define the name, what it is showing. Okay. Agent pool is nothing. But it's like actually it will become an Azure DevOps session. Because but let me know. I do not want to go much inside this Azure DevOps. But if you want, just let us know. We can have a different session for entire Azure DevOps as well. It will be just for 1 or 1.5 hour, maybe in next month somewhere, but we can have it. Okay. So here you can define an agent pool. Agent pool is nothing but the machine where you want to run it. Like if you want to go for the Azure hosted, you will choose the Azure pipeline, and there you can choose, for example, it is a Mac OS, it is whatever you want, Ubuntu or Windows machine. Or if you want to go with the self-hosted, as in the free tier, like in the free account, it does not, for the free, it does not allow you to use Azure hosted. So you have to create a self-hosted. And how can you create a self-hosted? For that also, there is a documentation lab. I think new project. Yes, this is configuring your first self-hosted agent. So this is the entire doc, how to create your agent pool as well. Okay, clear till this point?
Yes.
Perfect. After that, as I mentioned in the diagram, installing the Docker. So if you'll see here, I chose inline. You can pass the file as also if you have. We just chose for the simplicity. We said we went with the installing Docker. So apt update in like whatever commands you need, because my agent is what in this stage. If you'll check, my agent is the Ubuntu machine. So that's why I went with what apt update. Maybe for you, if it is something else, so you can use as per your requirement. Clear till this point? Yes, no?
Yes.
The agent that you shown was the one that we need to create, right? Self-hosted one.
Correct. Because when you run, click on build, right? Yeah, run pipeline. So it has to run somewhere, right?
Yes, right.
So that's what it is. Okay.
Okay.
It needs a platform. Earlier, it used to provide a free host, right? It creates one container where you can run everything. So these kind of stages comes handy there. Otherwise, in Azure DevOps, once it is installed, I usually disable these kind of tasks, because I need not to again and again install the Docker, right? Because Docker is already present in my machine.
So this agent will remain after that this pipeline gets completed also?
That's the concept of self-hosted, right? That's why I said I'm going with the self-hosted one.
Okay, that means it will remain, and the configuration will also remain, so we can reuse it.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Self-hosted, the code will be remain in this Docker.
No, containers will not be there now. Like this is a machine where you will be using as a platform. So if you are doing it in this manner, apt install, so it will be around. It will be there because it does not get deleted.
Okay.
Basically,
You do not need Visual Studio to write the code in the Terraform.
You need it.
That's for the local machine, right?
That's for the local machine. I agree.
Not on the DevOps platform. The
So,
pipeline,
so how you are going to do? What you are going to do for replacing this Visual Studio in DevOps?
I'm not
where you will
replacing
write
Visual
code.
Studio. I'm not replacing Visual Studio. Visual Studio is just an IDE, right? Where you can write a code, right? Nobody's stopping you there. You wrote the code in the IDE. It is Visual Studio. You said git add, git commit, git push. Then after the push, when you pushed it to a repository, then exactly this pipeline came into a picture. Agree?
Agreed. But here you are not using it. So what you are going to do? Where you write the code? That's what I.
Who is saying I'm not using it? I'm using it. I have this repository cloned in my local, where I'm fixing and everything.
So you already have the repository of those codes.
Yeah,
okay.
I cannot waste the time of writing this entire code in the session, right? So I pre-write it.
Yeah. Mehul, the question here is, do you have ID also in Azure DevOps, or we don't have ID support here?
Acha, no. We don't. We like it.
Yeah,
it is,
I think that is the question. I mean,
yes,
still we can go with Visual Studio, but we were just wanted to know if there is ID also provided with Azure DevOps.
No. No, not as my knowledge.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's
Okay.
Thank you. But I hope this is clear now. Thanks for clarifying. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is just a basic command that we fetched from the internet, like how to install a CLI. Okay, or after that, this Azure install. This is here, instead of doing apt install and everything, this is the predefined task, right? Where you just choose the name, you define the version here. I want to install 1.0.0. So it will install which version? 1.0.0. Agree? Yes, no?
Okay, so we have a certain predefined task also in Azure DevOps which we can use.
Correct.
We don't have to write the script.
Exactly. So
That is good.
Mehul, I have a question. Whenever we choose this agent, like installing a Docker, there was an inline script on the right side, right? That script is like auto-generated, or do I have to put in this?
I have to write it. Because this is the manual step that we are adding, right?
So, if I build my own pipeline, I'll put in installing a Docker. Then I'll choose a script for that, like according to my whatever machine I'm using.
Exactly.
I have to put in a script for that.
That's what I said a few minutes back, right? Like for example, for the Docker, right? So if I add this stage, Docker push and build, right? So it is a pre-stage. But I was saying, let's say tomorrow you you say, I do not want to do it on Azure DevOps. I want to do it on Jenkins. So platform should not be a blocker, because behind the scene I have to install Docker, right?
Yeah.
So in the Jenkins, maybe you will go there first, you will install it. So you can just remove this step. For example, if I go to that server, I installed Docker already. Right. So I do not need this step.
No, I got that. Fine. That's fine.
Yeah, same way I'm showing that. Let's say I look for Docker, so it has build and push step, right? Where you can define the registry and everything, and it automatically will create a connection with that, and you just have to build the image. Understood? Yes or no? You just provide the Docker file. So this is how easy it is.
I'll just provide the path of the Docker file, right?
Correct.
The authentication, whatever authentication is required, and then it will go.
Correct. See here, content registry it is looking for. I do not have it. So that's the beauty, right? You just go to new. You have to build one service connection, right? Service principal with that. If it is a Azure or if it is a Docker hub, you just provide the path and everything, and you are good.
Fine. That's fine.
Okay. Remove this task for now. CLI installed, Terraform installed. Then we said pulling the images, right? You do not need to have a sudo, right? I'm just giving you the worst case scenario, because once you install the Docker, you need to use sudo, right? But if let's say in the agent I fix that error, so you can just see Docker pull. Make sense?
Yeah,
you can argue when you sorry.
That will depend on the rights you have on the machine, right?
Exactly. Sometimes you don't even have to rights to run a sudo. This will fail. So you have to fix it, right? So this is just taking as a position, like the scenario where you have all the access around you, right? So that's the beauty. Agree? Then after that, init. See here, init Azure RM provider. You have to choose. For example, you are going with the AWS. You choose AWS, right? So this is how easy it makes for you. Like Azure DevOps. But I want you to go inside the complexity. You should run when you will be practicing now. Don't use this. Go with the bash only and run the Terraform init command. I want you to explore that, because platform, you should not be a platform dependent, right? That's the logic behind it. But if you want that, see, that's how easy it makes. You just need to choose RM. You in the drop down, you need to choose init, validate, or whatever command you want, right? All these commands, and then you have to pass the directory where exactly you want it to be. Then you have to pass the Azure subscription, because init will create a access connection with the account, right? So I have added my subscription in Azure, right? And then the resource group where you want to state it, state file, and everything it will take care. Is it clear, everybody? Yes or no?
So this is to store the state file.
Exactly.
On the, blob
because you do not want it in your local, right? It is not safe. So that's why it asks you for option, which resource group, which storage account, which container, and inside what is the file name. I call it network.txt. Maybe I can put a path environment / dev / whatever I want.
So that means I don't have to put that. I don't have to define that backend on my configuration files. For storing
Actually,
the
this is
state
a
file in
small
the remote.
bug. Very good, very good. So I'll by expectation, yes, but this is a small bug in this. Like you have to define it both places. Otherwise, sometimes it does not.
So, but if I define it there, why do I have to define it here? Like if I've already configured I put the code.
That's why. That's sorry to interrupt, but that's why I said bug. That's the problem. Small problem. Okay.
Fine.
Same way, validate. Same way, plan. Okay. In this, if you want, you have some extra command like additional command argument. So lock you want to false and -- out. Right? I was saying plan.out. I want to store the architect inside this architecture diagram. Or you can say in the home, what do we call it? The map of the house. Same way, the map of the infrastructure, you want to store it here. After that, tfsec, this is just a bash where you are just running the command, the one that I showed you. This one, linting, same way you are running just linting image. Same way, see here in this example, you are not seeing -- bars. It was there only, right? If I'm not wrong. Or it was with the tfsec. Okay, it was with the tfsec. See here. After that, cost estimation, I was saying, if you want to see the cost breakdown, and if you want to see a difference, you have to run the diff command. Clear? Right. Yeah, please go ahead.
Hey, Mehul, earlier you were showing some YAML pipeline. Now you are showing classic pipeline.
Then I was just showing that you can do it with the both manner like Jenkins. But I'm choosing the way where it is easy for you to understand. Same way, exact same thing, we have prepared one JSON pipeline, like the YAML pipeline. That's what I was saying.
So both the pipeline doing the same task.
Same
right?
exact task. Like if I'll go here, if I'll go to this, if I'll go to this job,
we can't see your screen. Okay, now.
Now right?
It's lagging a lot. Yeah.
Exact same thing. Exact same thing.
Okay, then which pipeline should we go? Like with the YAML pipeline or with the classic pipeline?
It's a difficult question. But for me, it's always YAML. But I like code, right? Like I like you. There is no such thing that you cannot do now with this classic pipeline. Right? And you will say like 80% of the time people go with this only. It's easy. But why I like this? Because I want to work, like I usually work with multiple environments, right? So in the code wise, it's easy for me to change things in comparison to here, right? That's the reason why I like more this YAML pipelines. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it answered. But I'm curious to know, like in the case of YAML pipeline, how you authenticated your Azure portal with this YAML pipeline.
Exactly the same stage. Let me go back. I think in the wiki now we have added. मैं आपको बताता हूँ. That's a very good. There is one very good feature here also. If I'll go back, if I'll go here, if I'll do the added pipeline. So here now, if you'll see where we are, Terraform init. See here. So all the options. So that's the thing, right? In the if you'll click on settings, so it does give you this. So for example, if I go here, I say this task, for example. Okay. So it does give me the option. So here, if I want, for example, let's say I want init only. So I can choose init.
Let's do the SPN authentication.
Which one?
SPN, service principal. You authenticated your pipeline classic.
That I'll show. So see, let's say this is a Terraform. I want to run init, right? So here I can choose the subscription. Which one is it? Agent RG, right? Storage account should only be one here. First, state file, and then key is, let's say, test.txt. Okay. So if I go around here, add, see, Added. Did you understand?
Yeah, got it.
That's how easy it is. Okay.
Mehul, I have one doubt.
Sure.
While using classic mode, while running the pipeline, we get one option like a backend. So what we need to give in that backend option?
You mean here? Where? This one?
Yeah. Azure RM backend configure.
Okay, so it's basically this is a concept of Terraform actually. So what happens now? In Terraform, we were talking about TF state file. Agree?
Yes.
So in the TF state file, if you'll think about it now, so in the TF state file, what happens? It's like you are using a TF state file somewhere, right? If you can keep it on your local, let's hypothetically think about it. You kept it in your local, you created one virtual network. So in your local, your Terraform knows you have created a virtual network. Agree?
Yes, agree.
Let's say I'm another different developer. I clone the repository and TF state is not around. So I again ran Terraform apply. So in my TF state, it is not aware about that VNet exists. Are you
Yeah.
Let's think about it. This is you. I'll just say you, and this is, let's say, me or me. Okay. So there is one code present. For example, let's say this is a GitHub, and it has the Terraform code. Okay. So you cloned the code. Okay. You ran Terraform apply, for example, where you applied one VNet. Okay. Plus added, for example. Okay. So your TF state file has this entry, and you forgot to push the code. For example, till this point, are you clear?
Yeah, clear.
I woke up, I saw, okay, so yes, I also have one task. Okay, yeah, yesterday our team was supposed to apply it. So let me clone it and let me run Terraform apply again. Because I have my own TF state file. So what will happen? I'm not aware this VNet is created. My Terraform is not aware. Agree? So it will try to create a new one. Up now, if the name matches, it will throw you the error or whatever happens, but something repetitive is happening, right? Which should not run. So what if I keep this thing in a central location where whenever anybody runs the Terraform apply, so by default it goes to this TF state only. So it means when you run it, instead of getting deployed on your local, getting saved in the local, it got saved on the central location, which is a storage account, for example. Clear?
Clear.
So now when you run it, so you know, okay, VNet is already there. So it will say 0 to add, 0 to apply. Agree? 0 to destroy. So that thing is called, that concept is called the backend concept.
So I need to give the TF state path. Is it right?
Exactly. So if you will see here now, so it asks you for resource group. Inside resource group, it is asking for storage account. Inside storage account, there is a concept of containers.
Okay.
So that's what it is showing, and inside it, see, end goal, TF state.
That is state locking also. That
Present.
log
Exactly.
also.
State lock is totally like it's a bit different concept. It's like what if two people at the same time are applying Terraform apply? So if let's say I run it first, it will log that TF state file so that I'm not replicating the same changes, right? It will say somebody else is running, or it shows the user as well. Like this specific user is running it, so wait for some time. Once
people are not able to commit the changes at the same time, that's why state file is locked, right?
Correct. Not able to commit the same. Yeah, agree with you. Like not in the repository manner, but let's say they both ran Terraform apply at the same time to create a VNet, right? At this moment, both people are not aware about it. Agree? Like because TF state says 0, like nothing is around. but when they run it for the same time, it means they both will try to create a VNet. Again, the same issue will come, right? Like local. So here comes the concept of log state, TF state log concept, where it says if let's say first they reach to API, so it will just log the TF state file. It will create another file called .log, and this person Mehul will get the error saying your state, like somebody else is applying the infrastructure at this moment. So wait for some time. So let's say because I was also doing a VNet, once the lock is removed, once this apply is done, so when I try to run, it will say it already exists, so that there is no replication. Agree?
Agree, Mahim.
Clear, everybody?
Yeah, clear.
Very nice. After that, I was talking about TFSec, same way lending as well as cost estimation, where we are saying breakdown to see the cost, and then the difference to see the difference between earlier and now. Then generating the logs, again, same way, we are generating the log by, kind of sending the data and upload, sorry, generating where we are just generating it, and then uploading where we are uploading it to a storage account, AG storage, blob upload. Same way, cost file we are uploading, difference we are uploading. It could happen in a single step also, like upload art reports, and everything can happen there also. It's just, to be a very detailed manner, like we wanted to talk about a lot, like these areas. So that's why we are talking, like in a different stages. After that, copy release, you remember .tf star we added logic, and inside it we added one section where we are saying it would be under this. We added a custom condition where we are saying succeed when source branch is. Is it clear, everybody? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone? Are we clear?
No, can you repeat this one more time, please?
Sure. So basically, I'm saying release. I want all the .tf files and star maybe tf for tf bars inside this directory. Also added in the control option, I added an extra check in the custom condition. Run this task when custom condition matches, which is source branch is what? Main. So this is the syntax. Clear?
Yes, yeah, we talked about earlier also, when the source branch is main, then only release. Otherwise, there is only one artifact.
Correct, which is this report only, where we added a custom. It doesn't matter if earlier one is getting succeed or whatever is happening, we will have to run this. Clear?
Yes, right. Yeah.
It should be this, otherwise it will fail. I'll show you that. Okay, if the previous task has failed, even if a previous task has failed, unless the build was cancelled. So this one we should choose here. After that, publish, and then publish. Can I save it? And queue, let's say. So I run it with the feature. For example, agent is correct. Let's save it. Anybody has any question yet?
Mehul, can you give the access so that we can also check?
Actually, for now, what happens? Azure DevOps does not allow you to run the pipeline if your thing is public. But I'll make it public, okay, so that you all can access. But
Yes,
let me do it. Let's first complete this. I made it public. So now, if you'll see now, see it is happening step by step. It is running. Install this. Install init. This. Now it is running plan, where you can see all the things. In the plan, if you'll see now. See all the areas. Then the tflint it passed for me. Tflint here. Tfsec. So it showed me like this is the timing, this is the count and everything. All the areas it is showing. After that, cost, if I talk about. So in the cost estimation, it is showing the cost also. So it's basically, it is saying 0.05 per dollar for disk, 1 month for 730 hours, $8 is some around it is going to cost you here. And all the areas like VM0, VM1. So we are creating 2 virtual machines. So it is showing all that cost. Okay. After that, if you'll see the difference, so I don't think it will show you any difference, but let's try it. So previous was 0, now it is $105. So it means difference is 105. Is it clear?
Yes.
So this way, this is a very important report, trust me. If you deploy it on your clients, like you can see like how much it is going to help you. Earlier there was nothing, so it is saying you are directly increasing the cost of $105. Okay. After that, because this is a which branch? Feature branch. So how many artifact it will deploy, create?
Only one report.
It only created a report. Okay. Now I can add a check where I can delete previous record and everything. That is something that we can do, right? Now let's run a new pipeline again. Now this time we'll run it with the main branch.
Mehul, why don't you push the code directly to the main branch instead of in the future branch we are run now? So why don't you push that code into the main branch and run that branch?
You are asking me why people don't do it, or you want?
Yeah. Why you are not? Why you are not doing first? Why you are done for the future branch firstly?
It's called the branching strategy. It's like in the production, your main code is running, right? Let's say you created one feature as a developer. You created one feature. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You build that. Now you don't know with the entire application it will be compatible or not, right? There are, let's say, 100 teams. Those are working on a different modules, and there is a very big chance that your written code is not compatible with 2 modules only out of 100. So that's why people directly never push it to a branch. This is called a branching strategy.
Okay.
So first they go for a like feature branch, then they merge it to a dev. They do a testing, then they do it for SIT, maybe UAT, as per the environment they have. And in the end, after all the testing and everything, it goes to a main branch.
Okay.
So you people usually add a check where you cannot directly push for any reason to a master branch. It has to go via PR only, so that somebody has to review and you know who took the ownership. Okay.
Okay.
So now it is happening. So how many artifact will be creating this time?
Main branch, there will be two artifacts.
Very good.
Report
So
and
now if you
release.
see here, publish artifact release was skipped, right? It was, the result was false, right? But this time, if I'll go to a 613, so hope it will complete successfully. Yes, it's now. If I'll go to this release pipeline, so what will happen? What happened this time?
The artifact will get generated.
Exactly, an artifact get generated, and that's why it triggered the release pipeline where we are running a Terraform apply.
Yes, right.
Clear, everybody? How exactly this entire pipeline is working?
Mehul, can you share the URL?
Oh, sure, can. So here, if I'll go around, so see, for some reason it failed, but let's check. If you'll try here now, so you can check the logs. Okay. Did we change the version? What happened? Kuldeep, can you check? But I hope you got the overall picture, right? Though it is failing, it doesn't matter, right? So what I'm trying to convey here is, let's say it got triggered, but at the same time, if I run this pipeline, okay, with the normal code, let's say feature branch, okay, so at that time it won't be triggering the release pipeline. Is it clear, everybody? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Let's see it here. So just to be very clear, we have added some errors related to TF, lint, and everything inside this code. Okay. So please like try to debug those as well. Okay. Yes, no, hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, Mehul, so which repo we should follow? Azure DevOps one or the GitHub one?
GitHub one.
Okay.
Here you have a wiki as well, no?
Okay, but at the both places we have having the same code. Yeah, with the
Same code, yes.
bug.
But in this, you have the bug-free code. Here we have created some small bugs.
We can compare and beyond compare.
No, we don't want you to compare. We just want you to fix on your own. Like when you will read out it now, so you will see, okay, so this is the error. Let me see. So that's why I want to do it, so that you know.
Okay, so you will review if it is a full test against the bugs.
You can, if you want, you can, but it's not these kind of changes, right? It's just, you know, I provide an extra variable that is not good. So I just wanted to show you exactly how it looks, the error and everything.
Yeah, got it.
That's the idea. See, this time it is. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead. No, I will ask later. You can go ahead.
So if you see now, it gets complete here, and this time, because this is not a main branch, so in the release nothing will be triggered. Okay. Clear?
Yes.
See here it complete, but in release nothing triggered because this is not coming from a
main branch.
So that's the entire hands-on activity. Everything is present inside this wiki that we'll be just sharing. I think already it has been shared. So now, like, that's all from my side. Anybody has any question yet?
Yeah, Mehul, a quick question apart from technical part of it. So same like we have Azure Cloud Portal where we have a free one month credit to practice things. So same like for DevOps portal of Azure, do we need any subscription or we can practice all these services? I mean, by just signing up.
Okay, that's a good question. From the Azure only you can group for Azure DevOps. From there only you can create an organization, one thing. And Azure DevOps is a open source. Till like for first 5 users in a single organization, you can add 5 users for free. Okay.
Okay. So organizations to be created from the cloud portal itself, right?
So that part is present inside the wiki as well. But if let's say you want to see, if you want, I can just quickly show you that.
Yeah, just a quick overview.
Yes, I will. Just allow me a minute. Let me share my screen again.
Yeah, and it would be also great if you can. I mean, we can have a detailed session of specific to Azure DevOps, maybe next month probably.
Maybe yes, definitely we can plan it. Himanshu, you can note it down. So here, once let's say you logged in here, right? After that, you can look for Azure DevOps organizations. Okay. So when you click on my organization, it will take you to this. It will ask you to create an organization. You click, you will create one organization. Automatically, the same name with the same name project will be there. Okay. So then you can get all these options and you can take care. So, and by default, it does give you one. It says like you can run one agent in the agent pool. If you'll see now. So you just have to create a virtual machine and add it as an agent. that also for the second lab, you will be able to do it. But again, as I'm saying, I'm available like on WhatsApp channel and everywhere. So feel free to ask if you have any question. Like not today, I'm saying, I'll say like anytime if you have any question related to DevOps, Azure DevOps, or any other concept, feel free to ask. Okay.
Thank you. May I have one question here?
Sure.
Hello,
Yes,
can you hear me?
yes, audible.
Okay, I need doubt regarding the structure of the code, how we can maintain structure of the code for different environments in the repository.
Very good.
If you take in Azure, right, we have different subscription, different resource groups.
Very nice.
How we can maintain? Can you give just overview how we can isolate environment in repository?
Very nice question. Let me check if I have it handy. So I will just quickly show you. Otherwise, I'll talk on concepts level. Okay.
Okay.
Let me check that. If I have it handy, like in some.
Can we get this record?
This recording?
Can we get this recording? Yeah.
Definitely, you will be getting it. Yes. You will be getting that recording. Yes.
Yeah. Where can we get it? Yeah. Where can we get it? This one.
You can ping me after a few hours, so I'll take care of it.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
By the way, you can get it on like WhatsApp group,
Yeah.
And as well as we'll be posting it on LinkedIn as a post. Zara, am I correct? Yes.
Yes, Mehul, that's correct. We'll be sharing the link for the entire session on WhatsApp itself, and then there'll be a post on Monday.
Very good. Okay. So, any other question? Any open question?
Yeah, whatever I asked, right?
Yeah,
regarding the
that one I
repository.
remember. Other than this,
Other than got one question, forgot.
no worries. Take your time. So till that time, let me show you that. Okay. So basically, what people try to do, if I talk about Terraform, for example, right? So if I'll go to this this branch, I think it's not present here. Okay. So I think it's not with me at this moment. But let me try to find it out if I can find it. Otherwise, I'll just conceptually talk about it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not with it's not with us. Okay. No issues. So basically, how you can talk about it now. So let's do it on Excel draw then. So let's say you have a Terraform code. So things only what all things will change if I'll open this repository. If I talk about I'm doing it in a different repositories, for example. Let me go to my organization, which is option POC, and inside it this, and inside the repos, and here, right? So what all things will change? One thing is Terraform.ta vars. Agree?
Yeah.
One thing is Azure pipeline as a code. Why people ask me like why you like it? Because every environment, so how people try to achieve it now, so they create a different pipeline.yaml as well. Okay, because how it is making a change, right? In this subscription ID is the changing, right? Maybe these values are changing, so you can just compare it, keep it into a different branches with a different names. Next part depends on you how I would like to follow it, that I'll try to answer. In Terraform, you have a module, right? Those are standard everywhere. Agree?
Correct.
Then you have a wrapper code. When I say wrapper code, where you are saying I'll create a network where I'll be calling module of vnet rg subnet. Agree? Inside it, maybe you can create few folders like global. One folder you can create inside environment. In environment, one folder can be dev, one can be environment/uat. Same way, dot. Agree? Now, all the things, those are in the environment basis, will be coming under these directories, and what all things are in the global level will be coming under this global directory. Making sense?
Yeah.
Maybe inside it, you can define again a network. In the network, there are multiple, in the dev folder, there are again few folders like network, where you are keeping the code for network. Again, it depends on you how complex you want to make it, right? or how easy you want to make it. Maybe in the same directory, you don't create any directory, you just create dev.tavars, right? You create prod.tavars. And then for the production environment, you added a command where -- var file equals to prod.tavars. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So that's how you can do it. But it depends on your like how complex you want to make it. I have done it for example, in the dev, we were just keeping one TF state, like in the backend, because in backend also it will change, right? TF state file language also change, right? The path that you will provide, because what people do, people say environment slash, if it is a dev slash dev.tfvars or terraform.tfvars, right? Then for prod, environment slash prod slash prod.tfvars. Now you can do it manually, or you can add, like I have done, like it was complex one, it was not even needed, but what we have done, like added a sed command where we were, whatever is the branch, on the basis of that we were replacing this word, we variabilized it with the en.
Okay.
Making sense? So it depends on you what you want. On the basis of that, you can provide a best practice or whatever.
Okay, yeah, this is one question. One more question. Okay, we have existing resources. Means those are created from portal like APIM. Okay, some of the logic apps and all that.
Understood. Yes.
How we can convert those scripts into Terraform, and also how we can integrate to existing one.
It's command called Terraform import. Actually, there are tools present nowadays. I was recently reading one blog. I'll share that with the, if you'll make that community active now in the WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely be sharing a lot of blogs there where what usually I read. So I have read one blog. There is one tool which is specific to Azure, and it works perfectly fine. Which will, what it will do, it will fetch all the resources you already have and create a TF files for you, Terraform.tf files for you.
Okay.
So these kind of options are available nowadays. Otherwise, the basic command, if I talk about, Terraform import is the command, which will help you to import all the resources from the cloud.
Correct.
Any other question?
Mehul, one question.
Yeah, everything is good now.
Sure.
So Mehul, this is one strategy you discussed. Like we want to manage the like environment dev and the prod environment. So we have like another strategy as well. Like I want to deploy some resources in one subscription and some of them in the other subscription. So which strategy we should follow? And subscriptions may be multiple.
So as I mentioned, right, you can, because by default it gives you the name Azure-pipeline.yaml, right? But you can create a different pipelines for you. Like there is a drop down also present, right? You can do it on that basis also.
No, the condition is like I want to deploy all those resources in different subscription.
Subscription. So that's
using the single pipeline in a one go.
Deploy is different, right? So I'll tell you how you can do it, but like how I will do it. Let me tell you that. So there are two areas, right? When you go to this release pipeline now, where you get the JSON, but you do not get the manual one. Okay. So if I'll click here, my screen visible, everyone?
Yeah.
If I'll go here now, so I can create this. If I go edit, so maybe I can call this stage something, and then I'll add a new stage. For example, not in a stage manner, maybe. Not here. Not stage, I'll say. Let's say I want to call it Terraform. And where is this? Stage 2, for example, or let's say this is a test stage. Okay. and then move it here.
So you are creating a separate stage for that.
Yes. So how it will happen? It's I do not want to do it here, right?
Yeah,
So
got it.
yeah, so I'll create it here. So usually what people do it. So this is a dev environment, for example. Okay. Once this will run, after that, on the basis of that, you will create another stage, right? And on the basis of actually I was creating here, so that's why if once I click on it and then if I do it now, so it will be keep adding stages here. So you can say this is my dev environment. Once it passes here, then this is my QA environment. Once it passes here, then it is my third environment. Getting my point?
Yeah, but the thing is here, like environment is not the construct like condition. A condition is the subscription. You know, we might have more than 100 subscription, and we want to deploy all those resources on those subscription.
I agree with your point, right? So one thing is this way you can do it. Like every section, you can make the name as per the subscription level as well. But let me answer that in a pipeline level also. Okay?
Yeah.
In the pipeline also, if you'll see, if you remember, we were seeing this file, pipeline.yaml, right?
Yeah.
This is the ARN, right? Like service one. Like there is somewhere we define the subscription also. Okay, for some jobs. Agree. So you can add a logic where as a drop down you can choose it. Like you can put it in a like I don't think we have some example at this moment, but like a parameterized job, right? So you pass the parameter. I want to deploy it on this in this environment, and then automatically we will make this one as a variableize, right? And then automatically it will update that value for all the areas and it will take care. If you want, I do not want a manual intervention, I might add the for loop here. I'll write a shell script which will again it will be changing one by one and it will be applying everywhere. But the one that if you think like so you have to choose eventually one subscription.
Yeah, basically we have to code.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have to create a logic around it.
Yeah,
with
got
the shell script. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, no, it answered.
Perfect. Anybody else has any question? Or somebody shared the URL, some blog. See, again, multiple providers. But again, for that, then you have to provide the alias in few other areas. Okay?
Yes.
So that is a Terraform concept, but we were trying to solve it on the basis of Azure DevOps.
Yeah, this will be again a limitations. Like if we are not sure about like how many subscriptions we having, so
exactly.
This will be limited.
Yeah. Okay. Any other question?
Thanks, no, not from my side.
Anybody else has any other question? Or like what you want to do? Like we all should stay on call and then you will be deploying a lab, or you want to do it on your own and whenever you will have some question, we'll try to answer that.
Oh, we will do it like ourselves, and you can plan another session for the detail Azure DevOps.
Definitely, we'll try our level best. We can do it. Actually, it does like all what all of you thinks. Like is it interesting Azure DevOps?
Yes, it is.
Sir. Yeah, it was interesting.
Okay, so let's plan that. Let me see what we can have. It will be a not a very big session, but yeah, we can talk about features and everything.
Yes, yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Great. Okay then. Thank you so much, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mehul. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mehul,
Thank
for the
you.
session.
You guys can also fill up the form. I have shared it in the Meet as well and in our WhatsApp group as well. So you can fill the feedback form also.
Hey, hi Mehul, can you hear me?
Yep, can.
Yeah, I joined little late because I didn't have link, right? So I got debated.